We are live.
We are live. We are live. Welcome to News and Nonsense at Noon. We're at noon. I'm Auntie AK, aka Akizzle, aka the auntie of all the aunties in the whole wide world. And I'm here with.
I am Nana, aka the Black Fairy, aka Dark and Lovely.
And Auntie Farrah will probably joining us soon. It's a Sunday. She got shit to do, so she'll be with us soon, hopefully. Guys, this is News and Nonsense. And why does News and Nonsense exist? Because the world is most definitely going to hell in a handbasket. And we want to save you from yourselves and the madness out there by bringing you the news our way. We're going to distribute all of the stuff, bring out all what's news and what's nonsense, and give you our take on it. We're here to help you separate the wheat from the chaff, the sap from the crap, what you need to know from what you don't need to know. We're here for you. But Nana, before we get into it, what do they need to do?
You need to bop the like button on entry if you are watching us on YouTube, please. And also, if you are on Facebook or Instagram and you want to get involved in the chat, come on over to YouTube. Please do that now. Also, I will be dropping the link for our YouTube membership in the chat. And it costs $1.99 to just support us, or $4.99 to be a part of our family and get access to our WhatsApp group, give us suggestions, and our membership lives.
Yes, please. Yes, please. Yes, please. And guys, you know, all the comment and subscribing, all that stuff. These, just a little disclaimer. You know, I love this, but I love this warning. These are just our opinions, and we need extra doubling down on the warnings because out there they're trying to shut us down. These are just our opinions. We are not experts. This is the ultimate, very cool Auntie's WhatsApp group. If you want actuals and factuals, you can ask TLC. You can Google or phone a friend. And any links that we share for you to go and do your own research. We are not the experts. It's just opinions. We're learning as you're learning. We're growing as you're growing. We're evolving as you're evolving. I beg, don't come for us. We will come for you. It's simple. It's just as simple as that. Because then we will get rowdy and act crazy.
And you know how that goes. You know how that goes when we start getting rowdy. So don't be feisty in the chat either. Because you will get put on a timeout. We do have the mods in the house. Big up all of the mods in the house. Yvonne is with us. Thank you so much.
And then who is in the house? Who's in the house? Who's in the house?
We have ZARAH is in the house. She came in bright and early. First comment. C is with us as well. As I said, Yvonne, our lovely moderator and supreme supporter, is with us as well. We have Christian Jane in the house as well. We have Dwayne has come in. Come on in, guys. Come on in. Say that you are here. Say a hello. We know the family, and we know we haven't been here on a Sunday for a few Sundays. But we're back. We're back.
Bear with me because London Film Festival is coming up, so there might be a few miscellaneous news and nonsenses, but we'll figure it. We'll try and always bring you news and nonsense, and we need to bring it to you because life is the handbasket is really happening. I wonder where that saying comes from. Let's look into it later. And Sora says she's beginning to know my script from heart. Good, yes. Let's all say it together.
That's funny. Christian James says it's bright and early. It's 7 a.m. here.
Oh, wow.
Like you're in East Coast, isn't it? Was it New York around there? Ooh, thank you for joining us, though. Thank you.
Thank you for waking up with us. Thank you for choosing us to wake up with. Hey, Ashes to Ashes. How you doing, girl? Right. Okay, guys, this is the roundup. Here's a run through of all the top news and nonsense stories from around the world. Those of you who want to call us tethers, it's around the world. Though we are starting with American news now anyway. But just letting you know. Big up New York. I miss New York. I don't know when I'm going to get back to New York, though.
I can't. It realistically, unless somebody flies us over there for something, I probably am not going to go to America until a new administration comes in.
I was at an industry party on Friday. I don't know if I can say this because I don't know if they've got that information out there, but a person that's quite public note from the UK said to me that they are banned from America because of their views.
They're actually banned.
Yeah, they cannot travel. And I would say, but I just don't know if they've put it out there. I don't know if they're talking about
travel. I mean, I have been seeing on the Reddit streets quite a few people. It's not quite a set ban, but they haven't been able to go in because of their social media stuff. But they don't know if they could go to another state and it would be okay. So I don't know. There may be that, but One wasn't able to go into New York. They weren't allowed admittance. And I think I saw they were trying to get to Las Vegas and they weren't allowed.
Oh.
Another person was going on a stag do to Las Vegas. Weren't allowed it. But I'm cool. I'm not going to be doorstepped because it ain't like you get money back for your ticket if you're not allowed in the place.
That stuff.
That's a flight that you've just... So I'm actually okay to stay away because if they checked my social media...
Might be a little bit risky, but we're Christian, Jane, Wending, Edinburgh Smith, and who else? Someone else, Jordan Parker was like, or Jordan talking about the time, but Wendy and Christian saying, don't come. Protect your necks. Protect your necks. And Jordan Parker saying, don't know what's happening in New York, but it's 7:18 in North Carolina.
North Carolina.
Oh, thank you guys. Thank you to our American family. Thank you to our UK family. Thank you to everyone for joining us. Let's get into the news and nonsense. So, you know, we got to get into it. As broadcasters, as reporters, as podcasters, as people who speak with our voices and are unafraid to say things, ABC has suspended Mr. Jimmy Kimmel over comments about Charlie Kirk. So Jimmy Kimmel has been taken off air indefinitely after remarks he made about the killing of conservative activist Charlie Kirk. ABC's decision followed pressure from US broadcast regulator, the FCC, and affiliates, sparking debate over censorship and freedom of speech. Look, there's a lot to get because I've got a lot of links to, get into the conversation. So right. You have to bear with me because I'm going to try and take us on a journey. So the first, let's just get an overview of what happened and what Jimmy said. 1 second.
Lovely. That's what I've been trying to find, actually. What did Jimmy actually say in its entirety that would warrant a suspension in the first place? Because so far, I haven't seen anything to warrant the suspension at all. Well, hello to everybody in the chat. Sora is saying, do we know how the World Cup and next year and the Olympics are going to do because of this? I don't know.
New lows over the weekend with the MAGA gang desperately trying to characterize this kid who murdered Charlie Kirk as anything other than one of them and doing everything they can to score political points from it. In between the finger pointing, there was grieving. On Friday, the White House flew the flags at half staff, which got some criticism. But on a human level, you can see how hard the president is taking this.
My condolences on the loss of your friend Charlie Kirk. May I ask, sir, personally, how are you holding up over the last day and a half, sir?
I think very good. And by the way, right there, you see all the trucks. They just started construction of the new ballroom for the White House, which is something they've been trying to get, as you know, for about 150 years. And it's going to be a beauty.
Yes. He's at the fourth stage of grief, construction. Demolition, construction. This is not how an adult grieves the murder of someone he called a friend. This is how a 4-year-old mourns a goldfish. We hit some new lows over the weekend with.
So that was it. It wasn't.
That was it. Yeah, there was nothing else.
That is what he said. Hey, Farrah, welcome, welcome.
Hey.
That is what he said. More teasing Trump, not disrespecting Charlie Kirk. That is why Jimmy Kimmel has been suspended. I will continue to bring up more things, but talk about that whilst I get my next bit ready.
Okay. That, you know what the thing is? So I saw that clip. I thought there must have been more, or maybe that clip of him actually talking about Charlie Kirk's murder has been removed. So I can't see how what he said was disrespectful to Charlie Kirk. I don't understand. The only disrespect and it's not even disrespect. It's not like you've doctored what Trump said. Trump did that. He literally said, I'm doing very good, and spoke about the ballroom. So I don't know. This is the craziest thing to take place, but this is where we are.
Kimmel, less than 24 hours after his show was suddenly pulled from ABC after a threat from Trump's administration. And tonight, Trump making it clear he is not done. The president is now threatening more networks.
They give me only bad publicity or press. I mean, they're getting a license. I would think maybe their license should be taken away. It will be up to Brendan Carr.
He mentioned Brendan Carr. We're going to hear in a moment from another FCC commissioner who serves with Carr. She says the FCC doesn't have the authority to do this, but the harsh reality tonight is that they didn't actually even need the authority to get Trump what he wanted, silencing comedian Jimmy Kimmel. If you are surprised at what has happened, maybe it is because you took the president, the vice president, and the chairman of the FCC at their word when Trump came into office.
If you don't have free speech, you don't have a country.
Thank God we have a president now who believes in free speech.
Free speech, diversity of opinion, those are the bedrocks of democracy.
That last person to speak, of course, was Brendan Carr, the very same man who made this threat this week after Kimmel's comments regarding Charlie Kirk.
We have a license granted by us at the FCC, and that comes with it an obligation to operate in the public interest. But frankly, when you see stuff like this, I mean, look, we can do this the easy way or the hard way.
Threats obviously don't get more clear than that. And that threat is a real about face from a man, Brendan Carr, who in December of 2023 wrote, and I want to quote him, "Free speech is the counterweight. It is the check on government control. That is why censorship is the authoritarian's dream." Okay, so then what sparked Carr's sudden threat against ABC over Kimmel? It was this.
We hit some new lows over the weekend with the MAGA gang desperately trying to characterize.
Carr was saying that's what it was that Kimmel said that was worth a threat to ABC, get rid of Kimmel or else. And sure, free speech is free speech. This is America. But Kimmel's words aren't some hate-filled diatribe. They're frankly not even this.
Now you're going for the kill shot. The kill shot with an ambush, deadly, because he doesn't see it coming. This is when you say, Dr. Fauci, you funded risky research at a sloppy Chinese lab, the same lab that sprung this pandemic on the world. You know why people don't trust you, don't you? Boom! He is dead. He is dead. He's done.
That was Fox's Jesse Waters in December 2021, trying to be funny. A month later, Waters got promoted. And after the brutal attack on Nancy Pelosi's husband, Paul, in which he was attacked by a man with a hammer, Pelosi's skull was fractured, he was in the hospital. There was a lot of really ugly rhetoric and conspiracy theories coming from the right at the time.
At 82 years old, and comes home to find out that her husband's playing hide the hammer with a Black Lives Matter guy?
Well, of course we can't confirm or deny your suggestion.
It's MAGA extremists behind this because they always attract illegal alien nudists who live in school buses who think they're Jesus Christ. Hell.
And there was also Don Jr. He posted this image after Pelosi was attacked. Got my Paul Pelosi Halloween costume ready, right? And you see the link there to the sexual jokes that you heard before. And Elon Musk, 2 days after he bought Twitter, posted a conspiracy theory about the attack on Paul Pelosi. There is a tiny possibility there might be more to this story than meets the eye. He linked to an article that claimed the attack was the result of a drunken sexual encounter with a male prostitute. Now, of course, none of this was based in fact. The government, though, didn't try to get people fired because, after all, free speech, tasteless, gross, crass, awful. So what? Free speech. So what is?
So just on the back of that part, what are your guys' first thoughts? Is it attack on free? Because I've got another kind of angle that people are talking about. But first and foremost, what do you lot think about the free speech, the hypocrisy of the right, and what they're doing initially?
Go far. No.
Can't hear you.
Oh.
Go in a minute.
Okay. All right. I think we can see clearly that it is an attack on free speech. I hate it when I agree with Candice Owens. I hate it. But her take on all of this, and especially with Jimmy Kimmel, is just spot on. It's like you can't have been attacking Biden's administration and the left and being like, they cancel culture this, and they're trying to shut us all down. If you don't agree with this whole woke culture, this is what happens. And then you guys get in and you basically do exactly the same, if not worse. Like, because you were against it, and now you're doing the same thing and they weren't shutting down Fox. They weren't doing that. They weren't getting shows cancelled. People were, but not necessarily shows. And that's like, yeah, it's the hypocrisy of it all as well. But you still have the diehard MAGA people that are still like, we're going to go along with this. You will go along with shit until you end up in a concentration camp. Like, it only goes one way. It goes with an authoritarian person there, Trump, and he will stay. Like, and it's actually working. The plan is working. You do the small steps. It's actually crazy. But definitely within all of these things, there's always sacrificial players that you need to get rid of in order to move your agenda forward. And that seems to be happening at this moment in time, where people are grieving a man that I don't know why they're so touched by him, but they were. So that's factual. They're grieving Charlie Kirk. They are allowing lots of stupid shit to go play within their grief, and they will suffer for it as well.
So just going, Farrah, can we hear you? Can you try? Can't hear you.
On mute.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah. Yeah.
It's going to be a bit faded in and out. What do I think about everything? So the Jimmy Kimmel thing, because I didn't... the Jimmy Kimmel thing, I'm not surprised. And Jimmy Fallon needs to watch out, and so does Seth, and so do all of them, because Trump's given us a list. He's already said, after, what's his name the other day? What's the other man's name? That got sacked, but they've put it basically Colbert, yeah. So when he got sacked, or when they didn't renew his show, Trump said Kimmel's next, and then this one, and then this one. He's given us a list. Yeah. So if this happens now, how can we be surprised? Jimmy Kimmel didn't actually say anything offensive. The only thing he said was about MAGA, but that wasn't even offensive. He was talking about fact. So free speech in America is a myth, just like democracy is a myth, because free speech only works for people that are aligned with Trump, and they don't even have to be Republicans. It's just people that are aligned with Trump and his policies and the people that back him. And then in terms of democracy, well, we know democracy is a farce, because there's lots of things that the American people don't want to happen that are happening every day. So that's what I think about that. Yeah.
And then just for an example, when we're talking about people saying inflammatory things, Fox is notorious for saying so much wild things, lies on top of lies. This pundit basically said something about homeless people.
Dollars to mental health and the homeless population. A lot of them don't want to take the programs. A lot of them don't want to get the help that is necessary. You can't give them a choice. Either you take the resources that we're going to give you, or you decide that you're going to be locked up in jail. That's the way it has to be now.
Or involuntary lethal injection or something. Just kill them.
Yeah, Brian, why did it have to get to this point?
Right. Just a simple thing, involuntary lethal injection, saying it so casually about homeless people. And apparently 2 weeks later or sometime later, there was a shootout in a homeless homeless people encampment. Now, it's not to say that because this man said that, that's what happened. But at the same time, if that was someone on the left or on the back of Charlie, what Jimmy said compared to what this is, calling for someone to be killed because they don't have a place to live, because maybe they don't want to get to a program. And then there's no discussion about why don't some unhoused people want to go into programs. What are those programs doing for them? How are they working? And are you checking the mental health of someone that has not been in a home for how many years? All these factors. So just say that they should be imprisoned or killed by involuntary lethal injection. But that's gone on. It's the white guy, I think his name's Brian. He's been able to come out and say, "I'm so sorry for my comments," and that's it. There's no repercussions. No.
He's still got a job. I thought
he just came out and said he was sorry.
Yeah, they're calling for him to be taken down. So I don't know if they will, but you know that Fox pundits can get away with a lot. I mean, the president is getting away with a lot.
But they all not all, but a lot of these people get away with what they want to say anyway. They're saying the quiet part out loud now, and just seeing how far they can push it.
That is so wild that you wouldn't lose your job. So at this moment in time, basically, if you are talking about killing normal folks, it seems to be okay. That's all right. But if you talk about anything to do with anybody in the elite class or an affiliate of Trump's, that is now heinous, and you will go. Is that not North Korea?
Well, this is what I'm saying.
They're asking Jimmy Kimmel to make an apology and to make a donation.
Yeah. So
towards Charlie Kirk's family.
To bend the knee, basically, bend the knee.
When he didn't say anything about Charlie Kirk. He didn't say anything about Charlie Kirk. So anybody that you want to make an apology to and do a donation, it should be Trump, realistically. But you're using this man's death. Now, if I was his widow, I would be like, absolutely not. But I feel like his widow is an agent.
Have you not seen what his widow said?
Yeah, she's on it. She's ready. She's about to.
She's taking the baton.
Yeah,
she's
going to rain holy hellfire on everybody and continue this. And he never. Well, listen, a white woman scorned. Come on now. So we just have a list of people who have been fired on various reasonings. Talking about Charlie Kirk, you've got Matthew Dowd, a political analyst for MSNBC. Been fired. Karen Attiah, columnist of the Washington Post, fired. Gerald Bourget, reporter for VNX Sports, fired. Dismissed after controversial social media post about Kirk. Charlie Rock, a communications coordinator for the Carolina Panthers, fired for an Instagram story about Kirk's death. NASDAQ terminated a junior sustainability strategist over social media posts celebrating or commenting inappropriately about Kirk's shooting. Perkins Cole, a law firm that fired a lawyer for comments made after Kirk's death. Broad Institute fired an employee, and it's like someone minding their own business. You've done something, you're getting fired. Remember, I think it's JD Vance was saying, find whoever's talking about Charlie Kirk and report them. You've got Office Depot. Office Depot just dismissed an employee after a viral video of staff refusing to print a poster for a Kirk vigil. Folks, 2 healthcare workers, one in New Orleans and one in Atlanta, were fired over comments about Kirk assassination. A teacher in Iowa was fired after posting on Facebook. Another teacher in Texas was terminated after making senseless remarks on social media in response to Kirk's death. So this is like people are getting fired left, right, and center. People that are not in like societally important, but yet just comments.
Yeah.
Another angle that someone else pointed out to me, and what people are talking about is like follow the money. Here's a little comment on that.
How do we make sense of the fact that late night host Jimmy Kimmel indefinitely lost his show because of comments he made Monday night in which he said that the MAGA gang was really trying hard to prove that Charlie Kirk's assassin was not one of theirs so that they could score political points. That's what he said. Well, follow the money. In August, Nexstar, the largest owner of TV stations, local TV stations in the country, announced that they wanted to purchase their rival Tegna for more than $6 billion. Now, in order for that deal to go through, Nexstar would need the approval of the Federal Communications Commission. And in fact, they would need the FCC to lift the cap, a 39% cap that the FCC has, which is a rule that states no company can own enough TV stations to reach more than 39% of the households in the United States. And this deal going through would violate that cap. The current chair of the FCC, Brendan Carr, he earlier this year said that he would be willing to entertain lifting what he called arcane artificial limits on how many TV stations any one company can own. Okay, so that's where we are. Nexstar wanting to get the FCC's approval, the FCC commissioner making it clear that his mind is open. Today, Wednesday, the FCC commissioner goes on a podcast, a MAGA podcaster, and makes it very clear that he did not like the comments that Jimmy Kimmel made on Monday night. He calls Kimmel talentless. And then he says that it's not just time for Disney to see some change. Here, Disney owns ABC, but, quote, the individual licensed stations that are taking ABC's content, it's time for them to step up and say, this garbage, to the extent that that's what comes down the pipe in the future, isn't something that we think serves the needs of our local community. So he's calling on local TV stations to reject the Jimmy Kimmel show. That was posted on Twitter or X at 1:01 p.m. Wednesday. Within hours, Nexstar makes the announcement that the company's owned and partnered television stations affiliated with ABC will preempt Jimmy Kimmel because they object to recent comments made by Kimmel. And then shortly after that, ABC television network announced that they were suspending Kimmel's show. And so while there are no doubt people who are legitimately offended by what Kimmel said, and no doubt tensions are high and feelings are fraught, there is also a lot of money to be made. And there are also a lot of people who want to endear themselves to the FCC commissioner and President Trump. So
there's that. Follow the money. And if we look at the big six media conglomerates, you've got National Amusements owned by the Redstone family, led by Cherie Redstone, Disney, led by Bob Iger, Warner Brothers, led by David Zaslav, Comcast, led by Brian Roberts, News Corp Fox, led by Rupert Murdoch and family, and Sony, led by Kenichiro Yoshida. So, and they all own, like, they've got different kind of networks under them.
Yeah.
And then you've got the tech bros. You've got Jeff Bezos, who owns Washington Post. You've got Elon Musk owning Twitter X, Mark Bainoff owning Times Magazine, Salesforce CEO, Lauren Powell Jobs by the Emerson Collective owns majority stake in The Atlantic, Peter Thiel, major investor in digital media ventures, plus heavy funding of political media ecosystems. All these people, all vying for the attention of Trump, all vying to own the media, all vying to control the narrative. And with Fox being, I think I heard that they've got the biggest demographic of the American audience. And Fox constantly pumps out hyperbole and exaggeration. And they've been found to be telling untruths or leaning to untruths and dramatizing facts. It was embellishing on facts. And that audience is the audience that is out there marching, out there voting right, out there believing that immigrants are coming to take their jobs. That is what's happening, and that's the dangerous part as well. It's a money game. You've got rich, generally white men, messing with it just for power and just to control the narrative, for propaganda, basically.
Yeah, to stay in power.
Yeah.
Because they know the world is actually changing. But if you keep on keeping people stupid, it works out in the end. That is crazy. So it all makes sense. I mean, if this guy is basically sending out a dog whistle, like, you have to get rid of this.
Yeah.
And they will keep on doing this. I guess the people protesting now and cutting off their Disney subscriptions.
Yeah, that's
cool. That does. I don't know how much it's going to do, but at least folks are thinking of doing something. Because it's only a matter of time before this spreads around the West. Like, France is on fire at this moment, basically rebelling against a similar structure change that they're seeing happening. But, French people will rebel. Over here, probably not. I mean, we're all feeling
there's stuff happening here.
That's what I'm saying, but we're all feeling scared. We're not rebelling against a tide of change so that we could actually see things even moving central and not being far right. It's a scary moment.
There's a bit where it says, they're saying, I've seen that it is and it hasn't. Apparently that Disney at the moment is running a potential loss of 3.87 billion because of people boycotting and stuff like that. There's an article that's saying that they're debunking that. Don't know. That's internet rumor that they're
I don't know if that's true, because the Disney Plus channel isn't the major thing where they make their money. So I don't think that's true.
So this is the thing.
I'm not saying it's not going to hurt their pocket. It will hurt because all money's money in it. But it's not like Disney makes the most money from their subscriptions.
But that's the thing. And then also, just as a by the by, when we're talking about media and what's happening, the landscape changing, Netflix is now in talks to by Warner Brothers, and that's after the Paramount other merger. So we're also seeing Discovery, sorry. The way that it's just this media fight that's going on over our heads to control our narrative and can just have power.
Hang on. Which way around? So you're saying Netflix wants to buy Warner, or Warner want to buy Netflix?
Netflix wants to buy Warner. Let me just double check my notes. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
I've not heard that, but I'm not listening to that at the moment.
It's new news.
Warner Discovery at the moment. They were bought by Discovery, maybe merged, maybe about 3 years ago.
Yeah, that's what I thought. So I would have thought
wait.
that merger would be trying to take on Netflix as well. That's why I was like,
that's
even more scary. But that's weird.
Listen, Netflix is rumored to want Warner Brothers. It seems there might be some competition to acquire the legendary Hollywood studio. The media industry, So last week it was reported that David Ellison, son of Oracle billionaire Larry Ellison, wanted to buy Warner Brothers Discovery. This was notable since Ellison, who owns Skydance Media, just recently completed an $8 billion acquisition of another major Hollywood studio, Paramount. Now there is reportedly another major party interested in buying Warner Brothers, Netflix. That's what that's what's happening now. That's the discussion.
They're all going crazy. Okay. Yeah. And I guess they've got the perfect person in place running the FCC that will allow somebody to take over and basically own 50% of media. Exactly. So you're just trying to get to because another sane person is not going to allow that to happen. But this makes sense for the propaganda machine to really work effectively. You don't actually want anybody who can turn on the government running media. You don't want that to happen.
But the left have had a good run of getting away with really challenging, taking a piss. That's not to say that the left have been totally innocent and haven't done some hyperbole, but Fox is output. We've seen it time and time again. It's been proven time and time again that they exaggerate and they cause, and it incites violence. The left doesn't necessarily incite violence. You've got the radical left, but who I don't really know of too many radical left incidents, really and truly. Please talk in the chat. Let us know if there's anything that they've done that have incited as much violence as radical right-wingers and that narrative.
Have you not heard about what's going on with TikTok in America?
Oh, yes.
Yes. Go on, give an overview.
So basically, they've just signed an agreement where Americans will have their own version of TikTok, and it's controlled by basically, I think it's 3 different media outputs who are Israeli-led or Israeli funded in some way. And so when they go onto TikTok, it will look the same, but the algorithms will be set to basically promote that agenda. They won't see what they're seeing now. So that too will not be free in terms of free speech anymore, because of that, what the algorithms will pump out, so that you won't have anything that is pro-Palestine or pro anything that is not right, basically. So they've just signed that agreement. That's gonna happen very soon.
Let's get some comments. That's wild. Let's get some comments because there's been lots of chat in the chat.
Rianne says the silencing and over monitoring of everyone is a shit show. Making examples out of high profile figures is their way of saying no one is off limits. Fuck your free speech, our way or no way at all.
Yeah, basically.
Christian James says the radical left doesn't really exist in America. We are a lot more right and moderate as a country.
That's what's happening, and it's happening over here too. It's working. So I wanted to, there was an angle, just another final point, which was very interesting. Earn Your Leisure had said something. This is the spin-off discussion. I'm just going to pull this up. Give me a sec. It was an interesting...
The 2 guys from Earn Your Leisure or one of their other commentators?
Who's that? Is that one of the 2 of them? Is that some of them, isn't it? And they're joined by someone. This is what they were saying about, because obviously Trump's in the UK and he had some of his homies with him.
He's on a traveling ban with the most powerful CEOs. For full context, Trump is in London right now. So when he goes to London, he's meeting with the royal family, but he's bringing Sam Altman's everywhere. He's bringing Sam Altman, Tim Cook, Satya, Jensen. What does this say about the world that we're in, where they are literally moving like the Wu-Tang Clan? They're traveling everywhere together as a pack all over the world.
It's a mechanism of protection. It is a traveling moat. So for everyone who's asking what to invest in, this is the most open that I've seen the administration be about what to invest in and what is going to do well. Sam Altman still is a non-publicly traded executive, but he's getting seating as if he is top billing. It's like when LeBron made Sports Illustrated. This is their version of that. It also tells you who's not in the room you should be wary of. And if they are sticking together like they're on tour, it's telling you the hell and chaos that's about to come. You have unrest across the world, Japan, Mexico, Russia, Ukraine, India, and they're moving together in one silo as a mechanism, like a transformer.
Trump is on.
So there's that side of things. But then just in the comments and just a reaction, the first thing I thought of was like, they're saying, well, you know who to invest in. Should we be investing, regardless of what's going on? Those of you who are about investing and know about that type of stuff, stocks and shares and stuff, is it okay to invest in these companies and make money potentially to fund whatever you need to do as a person? This is solely speaking about a person of color doing that. Or should we also not be trying to be a part of these organizations that are literally trying to rule the world and kill us in some sort of way or dumb us down, or there's danger afoot? So is it okay? I was just thinking, because Earning Your Ledger, you know, we learn from, like, they're trying to make Black people especially financially savvy and have some footing in this capitalist perspective of the world. Is it okay? Should we be like, okay, do you know what? Fuck what's going on. I'm going to go and put some shares in and get some shares in Apple because these lot are moving with Trump. Things are about to move forward. They're going to make more profits. Let's go. We'll benefit. What do you think?
You're on mute, hon.
Sorry, I was just saying I wouldn't invest in Apple. That's blood money.
I think it really depends on your moral compass. And like on the show when I was saying, I feel like I'm really leaning towards being an anti-capitalist. I think I wouldn't, but I understand what Earn Your Leisure is there for. And it is about Black capitalism. It is about playing the game with their rules and being smart about it. And I watch their videos and everything. And the more I watch them, the more I am actually so opposed to this rhetoric being in Black spaces. But I understand that some of us are okay with playing this economic game and getting involved with these companies for money, for monetary gains. I feel I would prefer to not play that game with them and get money in other means that are more community focused. Investing in OpenAI, as much as I flipping use ChatGPT and all of them now in various different ways, the guy scares the hell out of me. His partners are out here on every podcast that they can talk to, talking about the dangers of allowing him to have impunity because he has no ethics. And that's why Trump has him moving with him. It's like anybody moving with Trump in this silo are basically saying 1984 is going to happen.
Yeah.
We will have companies that people are worshipping and they will have us in boxes producing stuff. Like this is going to take place. Project 2025 is going to happen. He's showing this. He's doing the maneuvering. So they can say, well, what we're seeing is these are the companies that are going to make money and invest in them. Bro, at a certain point in time, money ain't going to save you.
No.
And there is enough evidence to show that that is what happens. And then you have the decline of an empire. So if you want to play the empire game until it's okay, cool.
Till it burns.
Exactly. I don't think it's the smartest way for us to be moving, but I understand that it is smart for some people. They do see the value in that.
But that's because that was my initial reaction. Everything you said was like, sure, but then this is the best way to make money.
But then the thing is, though, there are other ways to make money. Like the world knows that the Black pound or dollar, whatever it is you want to call it, is actually very strong. Exactly. It's just that we're not investing enough in ourselves. And I don't mean like once a month or that type of thing. But there are tech companies in Africa who are actually doing very, very well. And maybe we should invest in those things. Like if you look at what's his name, Del Boy, that's on Instagram, he comes up with lots of different ways how the world could change in just 30 days if we all put our minds together. Like at the moment, there's a boycott on non-Black hair shops and products and stuff like that. And I don't know how that's going. I think that's, I know a lot of people that have actually are participating in that. I'm participating in it myself. I think you guys are as well. So it's just like there are movements that to be done. It's just like Nana says, these people like the Trumps and the Elon Musk and all those guys, their rhetoric is that they are the best and that you should always move with them in order to increase your pound. But that's not really the case. It isn't really the case.
And when you have when we have that discussion, and I really want to get a black capitalist or someone we can find to talk about it. When we have that kind of narrative where it is like the benchmark of success is a rich white man. So when that's been the blueprint for how many years of our lifetime, of generational's lifetime, that then when you have black male leaders or black women leaders, anyone who's a real staunch supporter of capitalism, and you're black, that's all you know. That's who you're aspiring to be. But people that don't like you don't want you in their space anyway. That's an oxymoron, and it's mentally damaging, I think. So you shouldn't want to be like these people who are ruining the world. Why are they the benchmark of financial excellence? They just have money, but a lot of them aren't happy. A lot of them are
also propaganda.
A lot of them are sick. And a lot of them are they're damaging the world just for a few of them to have fun and go on yachts and islands and do nonsense.
I mean, absolutely.
So
we're talking about iPhones and Apple and all of these things. Like, do we really need another fucking Apple? Do we really need another iPhone? Nobody really needs another iPhone. But they put it into our minds and they start this iPhone Android wars so that people can invest in that type of shit and like play that game. And I've got to have the latest. I've got to have the latest. I've got to have the latest. And then it's the thing of what happens to all the shit that you had before. We've watched documentaries about where all of this waste goes to. We've seen in our countries that they're sending the waste to our countries for them to deal with. We've seen this shit. And then at the same time as they're sending the waste from all this stuff that we don't really need, they're using our people to actually make that shit as well. Like it's a vicious fucking circle. It's all propaganda. It is all a film to them that they're pumping out to make us feel like we need to participate in it. We don't need to participate in it. We really don't.
They do make you feel like if you're not, and that's the part. If you're not doing it, you're not winning. It's all from the Daily Dash stuff and all that crap. Like all this kind of, I'm a boss, I'm a CEO, and if you're an employee, you're an idiot. All that rhetoric, just chasing money. When time is in our face, you said it. Nana said it. We've all said it. In our faces, we can see people with money aren't the happiest people in the world. You know, they actually aren't. When you can see a smile on a family that's got no money, but they got each other, community. When you go down to like a community event, it's all of us coming together and convening. That's where the joy is. All of you people that are at Buckingham Palace pretending you're friends just so that you can make more money. That's not real. Melania's sticking with a man you hate. Clearly you hate it.
Dressed like the Grim Reaper.
Yeah. Oh my God.
Walking around like the Grim Reaper.
Like crazy. Have you got one of those? Did you get one of those pictures of how she was dressed? Because she's been looking nuts. I don't know if at that time it wasn't her, like it was, the double that they wore out. That's why she had that huge hat on. I was literally like, is she moving with the double? But no, it's actually wild, like what is going on. I would have loved more time with Shaka to really go over and discuss what he's doing in Ghana with Ernie.
I want to have him back.
That plot of there's so much backlash against it anyway. It's like there's 300 acres. People thought that the Ghanaian government gave it to them, and actually it was another Ghanaian businessman that had that land. But also just his Pan-Africanist ideals merging with real capitalism. I am like, okay, how does that work? How do you process that in your mind? That this is what, you've affiliated yourself with Ernie Olesia, and they are capitalists, and you have these Pan-Africanist ideals and community. How does that actually work to then have a project in Ghana that is basically a gated community for the diaspora? I don't know how that ecosystem goes hand in hand, really, and should be pushed as community focused. I would love to have that discussion, even with one of them. Actually, doesn't have to.
Oh, I definitely want to speak to Earn Your Leisure, and we did. Well, I wish we did get into that. We ran out of time, but I definitely want to get into that because there's so much conversation about what's really happening with that city that's being built in Ghana, and with the year of return, everyone's influxing and seeing Ghana as ripe land for the taking. And I'm hearing, we said it, we've had a discussion before. So many people saying that, I'm buying up land, I'm building my plot out there, and I'm going to rent it out. Rent it out to who? Because outside of holiday season, rent it out to who? Like, what are you? And there was an article, I wish I kept it, about, that these a lot of these lots are sitting empty. And all these workers are maybe not getting paid, and they're just there, maybe sleeping in some empty house or whatever, and looking after some empty building for people that think they're going to get rich. You're not going to get rich. Like, that's not how it worked. This is not the West. It's not the West. It's not the same dynamic. It's not the same thing. You don't have loads of millionaires and rich people, and we don't even have a renting system in the same way in Ghana. So what are you doing? And you're going there without being informed by a few people that have like seen a get rich quick scheme, maybe with good intention, all that type of stuff. But there is some of that. How do you sustain it? I don't know. I'm not convinced, and I wish we got into it more. We can have that conversation. And yes, Will Smith, I'm sending shots Dame Dash's way because what the hell? Do we have any more comments before we move on to the next story?
Murad says the year of return is simply just another fallacy. Christian James says, agreed, the obsession with consumption is how America in particular keeps Americans under control. Also, long as they keep you longing for more, they can keep you focused on work to buy your desires. And that's the wheel trap that we all are in. And as much as people try and sell you courses, especially like 19 keys, like, you know, empowering yourself, investing, I'm going to teach you. That's how you're making money though. So it's like all of these folks, if you're really doing it, like, let's say a Warren Buffett, he doesn't have a course.
Yeah.
So it's like, if you're selling me a course, I know that that's your modeling. So it's to teach me something that you can't become a billionaire at, and you're selling me the lie that I could get there as well. It's like, come on, we don't need to be on that circus wheel.
That's so
I
true.
would like to have a conversation with them, because it's like, all right, if this isn't a scam, if you're not grifting, explain it to me so I understand how this frees us all. Even if it's the middle class that can help the working class, or you create an upper class, tell me how this works, because I don't want to be in a class system. Even if I am a part of the middle class, I don't want to be in a class system anymore. So I want to understand what the plan is to be calling these men leaders, because that's what they're called.
Basically. Sticking with Charlie Kirk. Yeah. So churches have been using AI to memorialize Charlie Kirk after his murder.
This is so disgusting.
US churches are turning to artificial intelligence to honor conservative activist Charlie Kirk, who was killed last week. Services have featured AI-generated clips of Kirk's voice, while videos circulating online show fictional scenes of him in heaven with Christian martyrs. I'll show you this church situation here. Wildy. The world is mad. Absolutely weird. Okay.
A little girl, she was wondering what Charlie Kirk might say to us today. And I debated whether or not to share this or not, because, you know, AI and all this stuff, but she asked AI, what would Charlie Kirk say to us today, or say to me today? And really all AI is, they take the fullness of a man's words recorded, and they crunch all that together, and they answer a question the way he may answer it. It's not perfect, but it does take the person's, what they live for, what they were all in for in life. And so she asked AI that question, and this was Charlie's response.
First, I want you to know I'm fine, not because my body is fine, but because my soul is secure in Christ. Death is not the end. It's a promotion. Don't waste 1 second mourning me. I knew the risks of standing up in this cultural moment, and I'd do it all over again. Second, do not let this violence divide us further. The enemy wants chaos, fear, and retaliation. Don't give it to them. Instead, double down on truth. Double down on courage. Double down on your faith and on your families. That is how you honor me. Third, remember this. America is worth it. Free speech is worth it. Fighting for the unborn, for families, for sanity in a culture gone mad. It is all worth it. So dry your tears, pick up your cross, and get back in the fight. Do it with joy, do it with strength, and never ever let evil think it won.
How are you cheering something that you know the person didn't actually say? How are you cheering that? Why? Where are we? This is church. This is church.
But listen, this is what I'm going to say. The greatest thing the white man ever did was to convince the world that Jesus was white and from the West. Jesus was from Palestine. He's from Palestine. He's from Palestine. Palestine. Okay? This is fucking wild. If you read the Bible, and also the Bible, parts of it is written by man. Let's be real. But if you read the Bible, the things that these are promoting is not in line with what the Bible says. It's not in line. How can you say that you're a good Christian when you're fucking looking at other people and making that like you're better than them? That's not Christianity.
No.
When you're saying that people should die and you know, by gun or whatever it is that he said, that's not Christianity. When you're looking, it just the mind is blown by the craziness of these people who stand behind Christianity as a tool. And it's not new. They've been doing it since fucking slavery days. They've been standing behind the Bible and saying that God made us do this. And, you know, like one of the politicians in America the other day came out and he said about Israel, he said, the Bible says it is promised to these people and that is it. It is undisputed and that is it. They are the chosen people by God. Who's God?
Exactly.
Who's God? Who's God? And if you're talking about that God also said, "Thou shalt not kill."
And that it said that at the top of the line: "Do not kill."
That's number one, you know. And what is "Thou shalt not covet thy neighbor's land or belongings," or whatever it is that the actual word is. But that's what he says. Yeah, these people just change things to suit themselves, and then think that by saying that it's Christ or it's Jesus or it's God or something like that, that absolves them of all sin. It doesn't absolve you of all sin. Charlie Kirk was not a nice man. He was not. And no little girl went to AI. You did it, bruv.
I was about to say
that a little girl did it.
The little
girl did that.
The craziest story to tell in church to frame it. Yeah, you see how they're using the innocence factor. A little child did this, so it takes away the absolute creepy insidiousness of you getting this man's voice, running it through AI, typing in what should go out to your congregation, and in a super church at that, and we should all be like, this is normal. And when Christians go crazy over any form of worshiping that is outside of the Bible, you have AI ghost, you know, AI stuff.
It's a false idol. You're not supposed to worship.
It's a false idol.
It's a false
idol. It's a false idol.
You're in church cheering something made up by your pastor.
This is okay now. That's interesting. That is interesting. So now I obviously, like clairvoyance and everything, they're not witches anymore, are they? Because if you can summon what Charlie would say through AI and you're all in agreement, then when a clairvoyant stands up and says, I heard messages from spirit saying that too now should be acceptable. This is all okay.
Yeah. Just wanted to go because then we're talking about the people that are speaking up about Charlie and having stories about Charlie. So this is what Van Jones said, and I want to have a discussion about this.
Valley University gathered to pay tribute to Charlie Kirk, who was assassinated on their campus just 9 days ago. The vigil comes ahead of Sunday's funeral for Kirk. Tens of thousands are expected to attend, including President Trump. His murder and some unexpected outreach that Kirk made the day before his death have resonated with our CNN colleague Van Jones. The story begins when a Ukrainian woman was fatally stabbed last month in North Carolina. The suspect is a black man, and Charlie Kirk and Van got into a public sparring match online. Kirk claimed the murder happened because she was white. Van denounced that as completely unfounded. Kirk then sent out what Van calls a fire hose of tweets challenging his argument, which Van says sparked death threats against him. In the midst of all of this, Kirk reached out to Van in a direct message on X. Hey, Van, I mean it. I'd love to have you on my show to have a respectful conversation about crime and race. I would be a gentleman, as I know you would be as well. We can disagree about the issues agreeably. Now, that message was sent on September 9th. Van says he did not see it until the very next day after Kirk was murdered. Van Jones just wrote a piece about this for CNN.com and is here tonight. I mean, this is extraordinary. So this was received the day before he was killed.
Yeah. Look, I mean, we were beefing. We were going at it online, on air. And then after he died, after he was murdered, my team called and said, Van, he was trying to reach you, man. What? And what was he doing? Dialogue? let's be gentlemen together. He says, let's disagree agreeably. So I'm sitting on this and I'm watching the whole country talk about civil war, censorship, justifying murder about this guy. This guy is reaching out to his mortal enemy saying, we need to be gentlemen, sit down together and disagree agreeably. And the next day he's killed. And I've sat on it long enough and I just said, you know what? We're going to Memorial Weekend for this man. We disagree. Everybody knows we were not friends, okay, at all. But you praise the good when it's time to memorialize somebody. And what he did, and I didn't even know it, was good. He was not for censorship. He was not for civil war. He was not for violence. He was for dialogue, open debate and dialogue, even with me. Even with me.
If, would you have gone on his show? Would you have done?
No, look, I would have probably tried to get him on your show. I mean, I wasn't trying to build his platform, but I would have called him, we would have talked, and we would have started the process of trying to figure this stuff out. And I think what happens is people get so worked up, Anderson, seeing us go at it, they think they're supposed to go out and kill somebody, or go out and talk about civil war, or go out and silence people, or cancel people, or fire people, or censor people. About Charlie Kirk, Mr. Debate, I did not agree with him on literally almost anything. But we were words, not weapons, guys. We were words, not weapons, guys. And we were getting into a position where we could get some real debate going, whether it's going to be on CNN, on his show. That wasn't worked out. But I would have taken him up. I wanted to beat Charlie Kirk in a debate. I didn't want somebody to shoot him. That's how we do it in America. And the idea that now people on both sides are justifying murders and calling for civil wars, we got to calm this down, Anderson. We need to calm this down. We need to lower the temperature. Yes, we disagree, but like he said, we can disagree agreeably. That's his last words to me. Let's disagree agreeably. We should take that spirit into the Memorial Weekend.
Can we be done? Yes, thank you so much. Before you start, can I just say this one comment? Jordan Parker 65 said, Negro, please.
Thank you.
I feel that.
Yes, and first of all, and another thing, thank you, Rianne. Thank you. Palate cleanser to the bullshit. Just a little something for your investment and keeping the community informed while maintaining your integrity. Thank you, Rianne. We need it because the tech pros might come off as our spillions and they'd be like, joking. Thank you so much, Rianne. I just want to let me
also said shut up, bad coconut.
This is the thing, because when liberals or black commentators speak positively about Charlie Kirk, is that bridge building that lowers the temperature, or does it operate as propaganda that sanitizes his record and normalizes harmful ideas? So like when I watched that, I was like, fucking hell. Where there's some point, and this is what's dangerous, this is what's really dangerous about what's happening and having someone like Van Jones say these things, because woven into what he's saying, you're right. No, you shouldn't be killed for having opposing opinions. Yes, it's fair. You should have debate, but don't lie and say that just because he sent you a message saying, let's agreeably disagree. Of course you're going to be nice. That's what they do. When I get called to be a talking head on a news thing and they want two people to go head to head about an opinion, they don't email and say, look, you fucking black girl, come and talk about this because we know. They don't do that. The email
Don Lemon the other day was on Piers Morgan, right? Sorry, I just want to. I'm backing what you're saying about how this happens before you go off on your other way. I'm just giving you an example of how these people operate.
Yeah.
Don Lemon was on Piers Morgan the other day, and he's got the text messages to show that Piers was like, "Come on, let's talk about this. Blah 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 blah. It'll be fine." He was like, okay, cool, no problem. I don't do panel shows, but I'm happy to come on and do a one-on-one, blah, 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 blah. He went on there and Piers Morgan basically started to talk to him about something that he didn't agree to, something that he had nothing to do with this, with what he went on there for. This is what they do. So we're supposed to be like, oh, Charlie Kirk was such a gentleman. And he did condone violence. He said that there needs to be mass shootings, at least one, to happen to maintain your Second Amendment. Right, are we not seeing what? Why are people forgetting what he actually spoke about? I'm not celebrating his death, but I don't understand why people are forgetting what this man actually spoke about and what he stood for. I'm very confused.
Do you want to finish your point?
No, that's kind of what's going to go into that. Go on.
Van Jones. If Van Jones wasn't a shucking and jiving dude that we've known for a few years, I would take the spirit of what he was saying if, let's say, it was an FD signifier speaking about and verifying he came to me, and I would have considered going on his platform. But Van Jones is a bought Negro, and Charlie would know that he is a fair playing guy that isn't actually going to talk facts and the truth, and so I can debate him because he is a shucking and jiving Negro. So of course he's going to debate with you, because on a lot of things you're going to co-sign his white supremacy. And so it makes sense that he would be reaching out to you to come on his platform, and he would have beat you in an argument as well. For him to say what Trump says, there's good guys and bad guys on both sides, is basically what he said. He said the left and the right are calling for civil war. That is not true. It is just the right that is calling for civil war. So you're already displaying that you are a liar. So all of this looking with your puppy dog eyes, like how you went on the news before and started crying, like nobody cares about Van Jones. To me, he is the same as Candace Owens. He is the same as Charlie Kirk. He's just a puppet that they dangle to say he is liberal, but he upholds everything that they stand for. A shucking and jiving Negro. That's who he is.
Yeah.
Basically.
He's a coconut.
All righty. So moving on. There's I don't know if you guys saw a BBC investigation, like a Dubai sex trade, and some guy called Charles Mizwiga, known as Abby, was running a sex ring in Dubai's luxury district, exploiting vulnerable women from Uganda. Sorry, I wanted
Uganda.
Funny, but Uganda. He allegedly supplied women for abusive sex parties while denying wrongdoing. 2 deaths linked to his network have raised further concern. So it's just because Dubai, you know, it's in and out of the news. It's a popular destination. We've got all those commentary about influencers that get flown out, and then there's the dirty underside. So just going to play a little bit of the documentary, and let's have a little discussion about that. Are there any other comments on the previous topic whilst I set it up?
Hang on, let me see. I will get what folks are saying. Wendy says, Kirk also said gun deaths are necessary to keep the Second Amendment. Yep. And the Bible says the power of the tongue speaks life and death. Exactly that. Rillo says, that is an example of how shook Black people are of even being associated to assassinating a white supremacist bigot. And Christian James says he is the biggest tap dancer. Vancer, go away, Coon Jones. Yes, most definitely. And Will Smith says we have to decide what we really want, guys. Northern Ireland Good Friday Agreement, South Africa Truth and Reconciliation. At some point, you're going to have to sit across the table from your enemies. And Kevin says, aunties, remember though, Gandhi was immortalized in pop culture after his assassination, and he's being exposed for his racism against Black people and anti-apathy against our injustice. Yep.
The wrong people get martyred and dated. All right, so this is a bit of this documentary about Dubai. Go into this. Did you guys hear about this, about the girls that died or fell to their death in Dubai?
I heard about one of them when that initially came out.
I hadn't heard of this. I didn't even know this was going on, apart from just a general thing about what's going on about, and the potty video, people talking about people, influencers allowing rich Dubai guys to do in their mouths and stuff like that. All that narrative. I didn't know about it at all. But
what, you didn't know about the porta potty?
I heard about that as a general rumor, but I've not gone in down the TikTok trail of.
Okay.
See, did you know about it?
Yeah.
Okay, give an overview, because I think I jumped too much forward, because there's an overview about what that is. What was it? What do you think?
Oh, all right. So there does seem to be, and they are recruiting girls. So it's not even just African girls. They are getting girls from all around the world.
Yeah.
And there's certain rings that you can get involved in, and you may think that it's light escorting work at first, and then you seem to go on a trajectory to be meeting more different types of rich people, sheikhs, various princes, and then there's a whole different sex that takes place to I'm just meeting as an escorting this person, to wild and very dangerous sex that takes place. And there's a lot of girls that will say what they're saying their cover stories is that they're in real estate. A lot of them will say, this is how I'm making money. I'm in real estate is the cover. And generally you would know that they have a pimping system out there. There will be a pimp. People can go, you will have a connection man, basically the pimp, and then you'll be met up with one of these extremely beautiful women. And within that remit of how long you have them, you can do extreme sex with them. And within the extreme sex realm, there has been a few videos that have gone viral with the shitting or vomiting or shitting to the person to vomit. And you see that, but there's other levels of violence, and people have had broken arms, like literally ended up in hospital, because then within strangulation, it's like you're allowing extreme sex to take place, which is crazy in a country that doesn't allow sex to happen between two people that aren't married as well. It's the extremes of Dubai, but if you have money, it turns into your playground.
Okay. All right. Got the link so you guys can watch it. So there's that. And there was another one that just gives a little bit more, another kind of perspective of Dubai. Just saying that it's called The Dark Side of Dubai. It gives a little bit of an overview of what Dubai, you know, how it starts, how the history of Dubai, and then you've got what's really going on, what really goes on behind the scenes.
It makes total sense here. Imagine crossing an invisible line. On one side are Dubai's 5-star hotels, artificial beaches, and luxurious restaurants where tourists bask under the sun. On the other, an area that seems to exist in a parallel universe where glamour gives way to the daily struggle for survival. And that place is called Sonapur, an accommodation that looks more like a prison. This is where immigrant workers live, those who build the Dubai of their dreams, but who inhabit a reality far removed from luxury and ostentation. Instead of the glitter of social media, Sonapur is a place of cramped shacks where everything is shared, from the rooms to the weight of an exhausting routine. After all, for everything to shine, someone has to pay the price, right? Literally, luxury versus trash. To understand how this division became so extreme, we need to go back in time a little.
I mean, again, I've dropped the link to that as well. So it's just, I guess it's overall, Dubai's in that luxury place. There are loads of countries that have built up that. I mean, it's not like it's necessarily surprising that behind the scenes of all the richness, there are a bunch of poor people, usually immigrants, propping up the system. But there's definitely this thing about the appeal, definitely tapping into Africa and poorer countries to get those, to traffic young girls into sex. But also we've got girls in the West that definitely get caught up in it. And we don't necessarily talk about it, or don't necessarily, or won't admit it, or have just tell that first top line, like, yeah, man, I'm being flown out. But what are you doing when you get there? And what are you suffering for a couple of grand in order to then maintain a lifestyle on social media? Because that's where you're showing off. But you're not really, what are you debasing yourself for? For those who don't end up dead, lost, or trafficked into the network, those who do come back home, but yet pretending that you've got your Birkin and you've got your this because of your, you know, whether it's real estate or you're a beauty influencer, or you're suffering for the pleasure or a rich man's plaything, a play toy. I mean, man, it's just.
I get scared of that because, you know, especially when you're scrolling on Instagram, you'll see so many people and they're in the same spots in Dubai. And generally, when I go through and look, and you see it's the starter kits, it's like the new BBL, it's the giving various forms of different advice, or the straight up influencer lifestyle. And it's like, dude, you know, nowhere on this earth is it just that easy to come into money. And the amount of people that are just like, yeah, no, go out to Dubai. What are you doing out in Dubai? And then the follow-up story is real estate. Yeah, there are lots of houses and apartments being built. Yeah, sure. But you weren't doing real estate here. Like, I do look at them like, you're probably on the escort scale out there. Even if you're with a dude who was super wealthy and you're one of 6 of his girlfriends, at best, that's the life that you're living. Generally, you are being pimped out. I thought you was going to go to that guy that was a bus driver here. And
I haven't seen that one.
Okay, the video, I think I dropped it in our group. He's an African man. He was a bus driver and he went out to Dubai and now he's a pimp.
1 second, let me see if I can find it.
yeah, it's the video is generally of him just pimping out girls basically, but it seems to be this is an avenue out there, like what that other documentary is showing, and that is a dark side of Dubai as well, is from the 70s to now, to build up a country that before the 70s was desert. It's basically slave labor. You used a form of slavery to enable you to have this rich place that everybody is now attaining to go to. And it's just the emergence of a new superpower, I guess. History will tell the tale slightly different, and we'll know that those people that were building these buildings, they were slaves. Wow. You're on mute.
That's on the same documentary. I didn't go as far as that, so I didn't know he was. That's the bit that they pulled out. Yeah. I mean, the fact that he's saying this is a part of me now, and he's seen a hole in the market. There's no black girls on one side. Let's bring them over to the marina. And even though this guy's an undercover guy, we know that it's going to be your average white guy. It could be anyone, but you know that there's a formula. Like probably a black pimp's going to feel very comfortable dealing with a white person or someone who's not black, who know they got money. That's a transaction. So you're also selling your sisters down the river for personal gain. Disgusting.
Yeah. Imagine he saw there would be. So he was seeing the trade of women, as you said, think like you're seeing, and you're like, I'm sure these guys would probably like black women though.
Yeah, I want a part of that.
Let me go and get my fellow sisters. And you can tell even as he was talking, I was like, yeah, you can see how he would be an effective pimp. It's that old bumbling uncle energy, like, but he was surrounded by a lot of burly black men as well. Like, so when you think I'm going to be able to afford some type of a lifestyle by doing this, I think a lot of women think it's very temporary. Like, you know, it's 1 or 2, and they can skate through it. There's a stat that they say by 2040, I think it was like 60% of people of women will have some type of trade within the scale of sex work.
What?
So it's just taking pictures, even the selling of like feet pictures or underwear is
because of the.
But because there's going to be so few normal jobs out there, that sex work will become a standard type of trade, like as if you was working in a call center. Obviously, there's a scale, isn't it? It's on a sliding scale. Like you may just be selling your knickers, you may just be taking feet pic, but it will start to be a legitimate job that people will go into.
When you think about the normalization of OnlyFans, and where we joke around and say, I'll just send a picture of my elbow, and but it's not that I'm sending a picture of my elbow, it's that because I know some weirdo, I'm not doing this by the way, guys, some weirdo is going to be jerking off because he just saw an elbow. Do you know what I mean? So then that becomes part of that. I hadn't even thought about it, the expansion and the normalization.
How we're going to have to be paying our bills. So, you know,
and it will become part of the sex ring.
Yeah. Just on a sliding scale of what we could think of all the various ways that we expel our energy now to make money. They will start to normalize it. Like, you know, I've been talking on the phones to people, helping them with their bills when I was younger. Turns into there's a whole load of people that have money and they want you to custom on the phones. You know, on a sliding scale for whatever their gratification is, you could see how it would become a thing of, I'm a phone worker and I cuss people on the phones, and it would just start to be normal. I'm a phone worker. Yeah, this person, I'm really good at talking dirty. I get paid. This is how I pay my bills. And
because it's not the act of sex, and because you're not hurting anyone, then you think like, okay, cool, it's fine.
Yeah. At least I have a job, because there'll be so many people that won't. So, you know, when I heard the explanations, I was like, this is actually where we're going to go. Yes, I could so see this taking place. Absolutely. Within my lifetime.
Okay, on to absolute nonsense. Fans pack the court as Luigi Magione's hearing begins. Supporters of Luigi Mangione, 27, appeared in court wearing 3 Luigi shirts as he faces charges over the killing of United Healthcare CEO Brian Thompson. I mean, and we'll get into the overview of what's happening, but And there's a sister enough in this as well. Like, what the hell are you doing, guys? Or is it okay? Is it okay?
People like you.
Why you hiding your face? What are you I just thought that this is so weird. So weird. Why are you
there? I mean, people really do like the dude. Like they think he's really good looking, and I don't know. I find this so weird. I would love to watch a documentary on how we got here. That he is he's saying he's innocent, but he could be a certified killer. Whatever your reasons were for doing it, you still took somebody's life.
Yeah.
And folks will support you, like really fangirl you because you are good looking. Is actually like, wow, the world's gone mad. Like the world truly has gone mad. I don't know.
I don't know. What do you think, for?
Yeah, it's that though, isn't it? It's because he looks good. That's why they're. But then I think there are some people that are supporting him because of the person that he allegedly killed and what that person was up to. You know, there are some people that are a bit sympathetic towards him because of those circumstances. And I think he was sick before and couldn't get healthcare or some shit like that.
But that Miss Madame with her blonde hair strutting like she's on the catwalk into the court. Why are you there? Coming to do a supermodel.
They're there to get a jail husband.
Yeah. He's gonna do fine inside. He's gonna be one of the richest inmates. Like people are donating all sorts. Like his commissary, he is gonna be a kingpin when he gets it.
Yeah,
we're gonna put him in forever. But dude is gonna be okay because women like him, and that's the thing. I'm like, if he was Butters though, killing the same man,
he'd be finished.
He's just out here, innit, blowing in the wind. Like I don't know if people truly care. Do they really care that he killed the head of the United insurance place, or is it because he's good looking? I don't know if women would be supporting him if he wasn't good looking.
I'm going to judge
there because he's.
I'm going to judge that all the women that are walking through, all the ones that are strutting don't care, and all the ones that are looking earnest do care. That's how I'm
That's very judgmental.
I'm gonna have to break it down like that because why
they got time to go and do that? Don't they have jobs?
No. I mean, look. We appreciate the people that were doubling down and giving up their jobs to go and cover Diddy trial. So
for real. Actually, I did. But they were making money on YouTube.
Exactly. Those people were giving content. These people are just sitting there. That's it. It's not the same thing.
No, just tried it. And those wearing masks and hiding your face. The two sisters that I saw, girls, get yourself out of the conversation. Come out. I'm sorry. I don't care. Imagine if I saw someone in my family or a friend up there with a. Oh my God, you get buried.
We listen and we don't judge, girl.
I listen and I judge and I watch. If you're strutting, we know why you're there. If you're looking intense. All right, so let's get the overview of what's going on with Luigi anyway.
Accused of killing the United Healthcare CEO, want a judge to take the death penalty off the table. Luigi Mangione's team argues the case against him has been politicized and that officials prejudiced the case by making him look like a, quote...
Sorry, how many of those girls have got this on their wall? Like this,
and these pictures precisely, like they are like, get the writing off.
I don't go outside, but this boy looks cute. I can't lie. I might take a trip to America, dude.
Monster out of a Marvel movie. They argue that Attorney General Pam Bondi and others violated their client's constitutional rights. Lee Waldman is live for us in New York. Lee, walk us through the defense's argument.
Boris, Luigi Mangione's attorneys are hoping to build on that momentum after a legal victory this week in their state case when a judge ordered that the terrorism charges he was facing be dropped. Now they're asking the judge to ordered the federal prosecutors to stop seeking the death penalty in the killing of United Healthcare CEO Brian Thompson. This 114-page filing that was issued today argues that authorities are infringing on his constitutional rights and have turned all of this into a, quote, Marvel movie spectacle, and by publicly saying they want to see him executed. You'll remember last December when he was arrested initially in Pennsylvania, Mangione was taken by a helicopter to Manhattan. He was led by a large group of law enforcement and by New York City's Mayor Eric Adams to the courthouse to face those charges. Prior to even being indicted, U.S. Attorney General Pam Bondi, she had made a statement saying capital punishment was warranted for, quote, premeditated, cold-blooded assassination that shocked America. She followed that up with Instagram posts and also TV appearances. That is what the defense team is capitalizing on in their filing today, stating, quote, the Perp Walk and Pam Bondi's statements have violated Mr. Mangione's constitutional and statutory rights and have fatally prejudiced his death penalty case. The filing is also seeking to humanize Mangione ahead of his next court appearance. The very first lines in that filing state, Luigi Mangione is a 27-year-old Italian-American dual citizen whose beautiful, promising life has been derailed. Born in Maryland into a large, close, loving family, he is now fighting for his life against a government that seeks to execute him. Now, prosecutors have until the end of October to issue a response back to this filing. And to remind everyone, Mangione is facing a slew of charges, state and federal charges. Those federal charges include 2 counts of stalking, 1 count of gun offenses, and 1 count of murder through use of a firearm. And Boris, that is the charge that is linked to this death penalty case. And that is what the defense team is trying to fight. Mangione has pleaded not guilty to all of these charges.
And notably, Lee, the terrorism charge in the state murder case that he was facing was thrown out by a judge. Why?
Well, the judge simply stated that the prosecution and that did not meet their burden of proof, saying that there was no evidence presented of a desire to terrorize the public, incite widespread fear, engage in broader campaigns of violence, or conspire with organized terrorist groups. They said these ideological goals of killing Thompson were not sufficient to meet that definition of terrorism. That's why we're seeing those charges related to terrorism dropped. But keep in mind, he's still facing numerous other charges related to the state's case, including a second-degree murder charge that could result in a sentence of 25 years to life.
Lee Waldman in New York.
Just to give you an overview of what's happening to this dude.
Yeah, I hope they remove the death penalty, because I feel like that is overzealous, and everything they are saying as well, like that image is of a serial killer being caught after killing 100 people. They would need that amount of security, big guns, because they are like Hannibal Lecter, like literally, 6 of you, he could kill all of you. Like, he's a ninja assassin. That is not him. Like, it was like, that was over the top. Honestly.
I mean, the mayor was there. Ridiculous.
What the hell? Eric Adams was always going to try and get a little fucking camera shy on that.
Ridiculous.
But come on, it's like people get killed every single flipping day, and they don't get all of that. That man just got killed, and he's saying he didn't do it. So are you still looking for somebody else? I mean, he does look like the E-fit, but there are other people that could have done it. It may not be Luigi, it could be somebody else.
It's a wild.
They haven't done that for mass shooters.
Yeah. They haven't done that for mass shooters. They I don't know. This is weird. It's wild. It's weird. It's fantastical.
It's because of who he was. It's because of who the CEO was. Money involved, isn't it? So
moving it over to the UK. Corbyn and Sultana are clashing over their new party already. Hope for a new third option might be scuppered because of these two. So ZARAH, Sultana, and Jeremy Corbyn have come together to launch a new party that's meant to challenge Labour and Reform and Conservatives. However, ZARAH has now come out and accused Jeremy Corbyn of leading a sexist boys' club after being sidelined in the launch of their new left-wing party, while Corbyn dismisses her £55 membership drive as unauthorised. So this is let me line that up.
This has actually really hurt my heart. As somebody that has signed up to your party, I receive the emails, and whenever I get an email from them, they are one of the emails that I always open because I'm ready for what's the next step. And I got the first email and was like, actually, I clicked through and was like, actually, I'm going to do this at the end of the month. I'm going to totally sign up and be a paid member. And then it was maybe 2 hours later, the next email came through that was like, that was an unauthorized email. And if you did sign up, to cancel it. And from then I was like, oh, fuck's sake, this is crazy. And I just went on YouTube looking for what has taken place. Am I overhyping it? Is this truly an issue? And ZARAH, exactly where I always go, ZARAH Media, they had already broken it down. And I was like, oh no, how have you imploded already? This is months. This is crazy. This is very disappointing.
All right, let's go.
Retain a glacial understanding of facts. Last night's show, stellar, by the way, it was very good. But I've tried to
go to some sort of Navarro 2.0 organization, but no, I'm being unfair. I'm going to be serious for the rest of this show. Also, do make sure to let us know your comment. Constitutional control over our conference. Of course, this was all discussed on last night's show with my colleagues.
Political party in the Western world for the last 200 years, redundant. So I think given that context, this is particularly galling. And I think there's enough blame to go around with lots of people here, Michael. On the one hand, let's look at this big picture, take a step back. Why is one half of the party upset with the other half? Or why are some people upset with other people? It's because they've opened up membership to people. They wanted to open up membership to people in what is meant to be a membership organization. They've got 20,000 people to sign up with direct debits, and those people are desperate to give their money and to resource a political party on the left as quickly as possible. Now, fundamentally, somebody needs to explain to me why one can't do that already, why that hasn't happened already. Any political organization on earth with 800,000 email signups immediately would be saying, how can we deepen and make more significant the relationship we have with these 800,000 people? How many want to become members? How many want to start direct debits and give us money? How many want to stand as candidates? How many want to get involved in campaigns in their local constituencies? These are clearly the first questions that should be asked. I think a sensible offer would have been minimal party. Jeremy Corbyn is the single leader. He cherry picks candidates, not that different to Reform. I don't think it needs to be particularly democratic. I'm sorry. It doesn't need to be that democratic. And the whole objective should have been, we are going to destroy Labour in the next general election. We're going to take as many seats from them as possible. We are going to become the voice of the left in this country. We're offering people a genuine alternative. Now, there could have been democratic elements to it, but I think, you have to create something before people can join it. And we're really seeing, I think, in real time, the limits of the kind of anarcho-voluntarist logic and people with that working alongside control freaks. And some people involved in this, particularly around Jeremy Corbyn, are control freaks. It's a toxic bromide, Michael. I'm sympathetic to ZARAH, as we'll talk about in a moment. I'm sympathetic to her. But I think that the minute you start taking money off people and they're not quite sure what they're giving you money for, and there's even the perception of them being misled, the minute you do that, you lose trust. And leadership only exists with trust. People are willing to walk through walls for political leaders like Nigel Farage or Corbyn after 2017 or Boris Johnson or whoever. People are willing to walk through walls for leaders because they trust them. The minute you lose that trust, leadership is impossible and it's very hard to get back. So I can understand why ZARAH did what she did. Frankly, I think it's ridiculous the organization is taking as long as it is to even have a name to get going. But I think she shot herself in the foot a little bit with this.
I suppose.
Just on that, yeah. When I first heard it, I was like, why is Jeremy running with someone anyway? Why does he? It should be Jeremy because he's the one. I don't know too much about ZARAH and how much support she had in general. But in the beginning, when this started, I thought you don't need a two-hander. Just have Jeremy go because it's seemingly people like Jeremy, and then have your supporter. What did you lot think when it first came out? Did it make sense that it's ZARAH and Jeremy running together on this?
No. No, it didn't make sense because that generally doesn't work.
Yeah.
Like who's going to be running it? It seemed like at some point there's going to have to be a leadership race. So why don't you sort out the leadership before you even bring it to the masses? It didn't make sense, but I feel like they were coming at it like it doesn't necessarily even have to be one of us that leads. And for most people that know of Jeremy Corbyn, they know that he's a reluctant leader, but he also is a control freak. So I don't dispute that it's probably hell working with him. He's a politician. I don't think most politicians are nice to work with, but there needed to be somebody that was like, I'm taking the reins on this. It's just a shame that you can think of Nigel Farage, who is an absolute idiot, can galvanize people and create reform and truly be a threat that reform will probably win the next election. And that's the only reason why I was so invested in this, like at least for my area, that we could maybe have a your party person as an MP here. That's why I was like, I'm invested in this for the next 4 or 5 years that I'm here while the boys are still in school. I don't want to be in a country where Nigel Farage is the leader. Wild.
No. What's interesting about the email, and I've only just opened it, to be fair now, like I saw it come through and I meant to read it later, but I never read it. But what's interesting is normally their sign off is in solidarity, right? Your party. And the sign off on the one that said this email was wrong is in solidarity, Jeremy, and then 4 other politicians. ZARAH is not one of them.
See?
I thought that was quite interesting. And why are they fighting in-house? Like, this is when I'm all for, like, have these conversations behind closed doors. Don't come out and say it, because it makes you look weak.
Yes.
It makes you look very weak, like you don't know what you're doing.
Now,
like, come on now, have these conversations indoors, come out and fucking make some changes like you said you're going to make. There's so many people that are signed up for it because they believe in what you're talking about. And I actually really like ZARAH, but I thought that maybe ZARAH was going to be like his second. You know, maybe that is what she's going to be. But I actually really like her.
Part of me was like, seeing it's an old boys club. And, you know, it's literally that thing, like, as we say, don't, look, we know the leader's a bit woo, a bit way, but like the bigger, greater message. A little bit woo. Big up her. To just stand behind him, kind of like what Shaka Bars was trying to say about Dr. Umar.
Go on, tie it all together. I want to see where you land with this.
Don't shoot the messenger. Just get behind the message and figure it out. ZARAH, just be quiet. It could be sexist. It could be a bit of a boys' club. But you know what Jeremy trying to do. You know what the country needs, and this is more important. So just toe the line until. And as Farrah and Nana is saying, like, keep the shit behind closed doors. Figure it out, but put a united front out front, because that's what the right do well. They do have some dissenters, but usually it's the people that. Usually they're like, I fucking hate you.
Usually they only dissent when they can see that the boat's sinking.
Exactly. In the moment when they know,
when it's within their benefit, then they start coming out making that like, oh no, I'm against it. But these times now they're backing it.
Yeah,
it's disappointing. Rye, I think that's how we pronounce it. I don't know. I'm bad with these. Why is Jeremy the problem? It could be her. We don't know. But because Jeremy has been ousted before a couple of times, we can say that he is the common denominator for fusing with people, and dissent comes along. We don't know. ZARAH could also be a problem in herself. We don't know. But she's the one talking, saying it's an old boys club. Him and his side haven't come out and said anything against her yet. So...
And we're not even saying it's all Jeremy, because like literally I just said, she could be quiet. She could be like, do you know what? Now's not the time to be exposing that bit. And does it? It's a weird one, because no one wants to be like, no, we don't want to have an old boys club. And especially Jeremy, if you're representing liberalism and left ideas where everyone's kind of a bit more equal and has a fair game, then women shouldn't be feeling like that especially in a party that you're running. It shouldn't be the case. But again, it's like, okay, is now the time to come out and talk about all the bits that are not working when you're trying to do something that's bigger? And that's the problem of things. It happened with the Black Panther Party. It happened with all parties. Like, you know what? there's a little bit of shit going on behind the scenes, especially towards the women who are upholding everything, keeping you men going and doing their own initiatives and stuff like that. But yet the misogynist, sexist men lead it and then start causing problems. And that needs to be exposed so that you're not just falling for something that's going to fuck you in the end. But it's still very difficult when we're trying to get through things. That trying to make a point, trying to make a dent, trying to make a difference. It's not going to be perfect. But I do think both of you are right. Like, could you not work this out before you went public? Just a little bit of conversation.
I guess maybe they could. I think, as the guy in Navarra was saying, where ZARAH did the misstep was collecting money. If you're not in alignment as a party now, like you guys are not in a united front, you can't then be opening it up like we're going to move forward and you're taking direct debits from people. That doesn't even make any sense for her to do that. It's like, why you put money in this area and it becomes too confusing, because then who is leading it? If between the two of you two aren't even talking anymore. It's really stupid. It was dumb for her to do that. So at this moment in time, I feel like you've got to go. Like, it's like you've got to let her go.
How did that actually get done? Like, who pushed the button on that shit?
Exactly.
Well, she said she did. So
that's why she's got access to
her team. They still had access to that. It's like there was parts that she didn't have access to anymore. So maybe in her, I can't figure out what her brain was thinking, but maybe she thought if I do this extra step that we're hesitant on, we have to move together, because I've done, and may not have counted that they are now going to be like, absolutely not. We're going to do the counter email and we are now going to report you. Like, maybe she didn't think it was going to go that way.
Yeah. And then also then on the back of that, Jeremy, like, we'll just get in line as well. Is it so bad that she's done it? Like, also, she shouldn't maybe expose that side of things. But Jeremy, you've been here multiple times before. You just get to the cusp of being the one, and finally got Jeremy, and then maybe he's got issues. Maybe he's got like insecurity issues and he self-sabotages. Maybe he needs to sit with a therapist and really figure out why I self-sabotage at all the time.
Yeah. Because just because you have their direct debit details doesn't mean that you have to collect the direct debits.
Exactly. And actually, considering we don't have money in politics in the same way as America does, but this kind of made me think, well, is this where we go? Like, I understand donors happen regardless, but there's something in the system that's like, we don't have that financial.
The Labour Party have people pay to be in a Labour Party.
Yeah, everybody does.
All the stuff.
Yeah, every party does. I can't remember where it was, but it was in the early 2000s. I was a paid Labour Party member. Like, yes, I could have gone to the conferences and all of that.
Yeah.
But every party does. I mean, the other thing people are saying, well, maybe folks are going to turn their attention to Greens, and some of like ZARAH would link up with the Green Party and fuse that. And it's like, no, but maybe all of you people that are, I'm not even saying right or left, some sense people that aren't for the individual and care about the masses, you guys all get together and create something that we can all be like, you know what? This is what we want. We want a cohesive society. We don't want a tiered society. We don't want to just be focused on the middle class and the upper class. We actually want everybody to be able to thrive on this earth party. And that's who we're going to get behind. Greens and all of them. Maybe not the Liberal Democrats. I can't stand them. But
no, they sold their souls years ago, didn't they?
Lily Livered.
I don't even know who is running the Liberal.
No idea.
No idea. Let's get some comments before we move on.
Rye says there's no such thing as a perfect character politician. Definitely. Will Smith says it's data breach bordering on criminal now. I know, it's so sad. Mentioned that. Let's see. Shay TBD says so happy foreign black so happy foreign black folk are realizing what some of us trapped black folks in Americas have been saying for centuries. That is so funny. I guess everybody other than yourself is foreign. It's just reading it is actually jokes.
Yeah. It's because foreign as well was in inverted commas.
Well. So moving on. So did you see the story about Ketia Maponda, the amputee student who warns about freshers after meningitis nearly killed her? So Ketia Maponda, 19 years old, lost her legs and part of her fingers after contracting meningococcal septicemia days into university life. Now a campaigner, she's urging freshers to register with the GP and recognize meningitis symptoms early. So she fell ill in September 2024, shortly after starting at De Montfort, and she thought it was freshers' flu. And then went into a coma before life-saving treatment, spent 5 months in hospital, blood poisoning led to amputations, and now she's raising awareness. I had not even heard of freshers' flu. I guess it's like when you go out and that first everyone gets sick and stuff like that. I definitely get industry flu when there's award season and stuff and we're all out and that happens. But you know about freshers' flu being a thing.
When you guys were at uni, this wasn't, when I was at uni, this was a huge campaign.
But like, you did uni.
Every year they would they would make you sign up with the GP. They'll tell you all of the GPs who they are. And there was like posters up around the signs of meningitis. So
but you did uni
a little bit sick. Yeah.
Like you went to somewhere and did uni. Like I was working full time and going to uni and had a flat. And I don't think you didn't do uni.
I thought it was a standard when you signed up. This was a part of to let you know that because it's a thing that takes place. Yeah, I didn't know this was not standard news. So when I saw this, I was like, oh, maybe this, but maybe I was there in the year when they started talking about meningitis.
I was in the coma for 2 days.
Sorry. All right, let's play it. Sorry. Oops.
I was in the coma for 2 days. Obviously, the doctors were telling them there was no hope for me.
Ketia was enjoying a night out during Freshers Week, but within hours, she was fighting for her life.
Just thought like I just have a headache. If I sleep it off, I'll be fine.
A student found Ketia in her uni room, which was covered in blood. What she thought was Freshers Flu turned out to be meningococcal septicemia.
The skin on my legs started peeling off. From my knees all the way down to my ankle, it started peeling off.
She was in a coma for 2 days before she woke up and had to have her fingers and legs amputated.
I don't want to gamble with my life or my health anymore. Even if I get like the slightest rash, I will go to the GP because it's worth getting it checked out.
Oh, bless her.
There's other videos you guys can look, and she's showing her like her rehabilitation. She's got prosthetics on her legs and stuff like that. As like I did not know about this at all was a thing, and I was thinking, but then if it was within a day she had a headache and she didn't realize and she just thought it was a headache, then there's nothing you can do. So I looked at it like, what could she have done? So the results are, if she felt the symptoms, fever, chills, rapid breathing, disorientation, blotchy skin, the only action that could have made a difference was seeking emergency care immediately, going to A&E, calling 999, or insisting on urgent assessment rather than waiting it out. And antibiotics and fluids given early in hospital are the only proven interventions that stop sepsis from spiraling. And then obviously, vaccination helps reduce the risk of getting the types of infections like meningitis or flu that can trigger sepsis. But once symptoms start, it's about speed. Yeah. And as a young person, not even just as any, but generally, like you're a young person, I've got a headache. The first thing you're going to think of, maybe I've got a hangover, I'm going to take tablets, a paracetamol, and that's it. So it's just like the rapid speed that happened. I'm like, well, there's no hope. That's super frightening.
It's so I remember they would go over the rashes, but obviously, you know, when you're seeing it, it's not the same on black skin.
Yeah, I remember the glass test.
In Luton, because they're heavily black, there was more about a blotchiness and liking it more to maybe I get blotchy when I get a mosquito bite. So there was more pictures of it may not be like a pink rash that you're looking for. Yeah. It can happen in different ways, but if you're feeling sick and you see the blotchiness, just go straight to A&E. It was all that was the advice. It's like don't even think, oh, I'm going to go to the GP. Go straight to A&E if you have the rash thing. And then you're being aware of people as well. It's just looking at if somebody's a little bit sick, especially in a gathering, after a gathering, just being like, okay, then let's go to the GP or let's go straight to A&E. And the thing is, once you have sepsis anyway, you're trying to get there to get the antibiotics so that maybe you only lose a toe or a leg. It's because you can lose all your limbs. and your life. And so it's very scary when you hear the news of meningitis. When I had Okai, that was what they suspected while he was in NICU, was that he had meningitis. And so having this like teachings when I was in uni, it's like, oh my God, meningitis. But if you're in care at the beginning, it's like they can get the right dosage of antibiotics to you, and you don't get the extreme case where you're going to lose limbs. But it's like you have to action it quickly, because it does at the beginning feel like flu. And you're just looking out for that rash, which can show up anywhere on your body. So it's that type of thing, seeing the two together.
But also when it's talking about go to your GP or whatever you need to do, that convincing when you like, especially if you're a young person that's not going to be taken seriously. Oh, you just went for drinks. Oh, you just got a hangover. If the institution that you go, the hospital that you go to is not fully programmed to like, this could be meningitis, let's stay on alert. And they're just like, oh, we got 100 of you lot fucking alcohol poisoning, getting into it, and you're just wasting our time. If you get that one dismissive person that works in the hospital, then you're messed up.
Yeah.
You know? Oh, wow.
I think most uni type towns, they are very aware of this uni flu, as they call it, that goes around, especially during Freshers Week. And they always, they were telling us, you know, don't go too hard, because they would know most of us are coming from all around the UK and leaving home for the first time. A lot of people just burn out during Freshers Week because you're just out drinking, like you just have freedom. So there is that, like, just take it easy. Like, you ain't got to go to every party. You ain't got to go on all the bar crawls, because, you know, your health is important.
And who's listening to that when you're just free? Listen, if I managed to find myself a black uni at the age of 19, 20, me, stay in. I'm going to be at everything. And then also we're going to be like, we're black, we don't get those things. Do you know what I mean?
I feel like maybe somebody had died maybe the year before, so I was very scared of that, but we were still out all the time. And it's why I also didn't want to go and live in halls. That was one of my reasons, was too many people. I'm going there with friends, let's get our own house. Like, I ain't gonna live in that halls experience to go and get flu.
Yeah.
Hello. And also, you can't trust vaccine, especially now with the people choosing not to take vaccinations, like parents not doing all the things because they can't trust what's going into the medicine, and then you've got the fear of autism and all those type of things. And when they try to consolidate all the vaccines until you've got this super vaccine, and then scared of what it's going to do to your babies, the lack of trust as well.
Yeah.
Well,
go back to the single jabs.
Yeah, like, as much as I'm not a complete anti-vaxxer, but I definitely don't trust these people with what they're doing. So, and they know they're keeping us sick. They know they're drip feeding us stuff that they could give us tomorrow, and we could all be better. Do you know what I mean? So that's all fucking crazy. All right, next story. You must have heard about the teenager that's found dead in a Tesla registered to the singer David.
Yes.
Body of 15-year-old Celeste Rivas, missing since April 2024, has been discovered in September inside an abandoned Tesla linked to rising musician David. The LAPD is investigating her death as a homicide, whilst the singer is cooperating. This story is wild.
It's crazy.
Two videos to share. This is just an overview of what's happening if you haven't heard about it. Let's go.
The body found inside the trunk of an abandoned Tesla registered to the singer David has been identified as 15-year-old Celeste Rivas. The teen was reported a runaway and missing out of Lake Elsinore nearly a year and a half ago. Tonight, a house close to where that Tesla was abandoned was searched. Eyewitness News reporter Tim Caputo is there live now in Hollywood with more. Tim.
And Mark, those CSI investigators literally just left the scene about 10, 15 minutes ago. The police tape finally came off, and we were able to come a little bit closer to this house. Now, we don't know at this point what exactly those detectives were looking for, what they got out of that house. We saw them pull evidence and put it into an SUV, essentially where I'm standing right now. We don't even know why they were here in the first place, but this house just happens to be literally feet away from where that Tesla was found. A dozen LAPD investigators took a computer and other items from this Hollywood home just a block away from where an abandoned Tesla was found with a dead teenager in the trunk. Police spent hours at the home on Dehaney Place, placing several evidence bags into an SUV, but they wouldn't say if or how it was connected to the Tesla. Several homeowners say they remember seeing that distinct Tesla for a while, first parked in front of the house police searched today, then at two different spots on the street.
It's a little weird to see a car that I haven't seen here for a long time. Had a big dent on it, had a Texas plate on it. So all a little odd, but at the same time, you know, people could be hanging out with friends for, you know, for a long time.
That abandoned Tesla was towed earlier this month, and workers at a Hollywood tow yard noticed a foul odor and found decomposed human remains wrapped in a garbage bag inside the car. We now know the young woman found dead was 15-year-old Celeste Rivas, according to the medical examiner, the same teen who was reported missing from Lake Elsinore last year. At a corner store in town, the owner recalled her coming in often.
She always quiet, nice. She come in like if she buy like a chips, soda, and leave. Sometimes she come with a friend from the neighborhood.
Eyewitness News has learned Rivas had run away from home a few times. She was last reported missing in spring of 2024. Those who knew Rivas, who just turned 15 a week and a half ago, say she was bubbly and sweet.
She just seemed very lively and friendly, a typical teenager.
The medical examiner hasn't determined her cause of death, but part of the police investigation will be speaking to the owner of that Tesla, a musician who goes by David. His real name, David Anthony Burke, from Houston, Texas. David, made popular via social media for the songs Romantic Homicide and Here With Me, began the American leg of his world tour on July 30th and has continued performing since the investigation began. Tonight's show, though, in Seattle was canceled. The medical examiner also trying to determine how long Rivas had been dead, but based on the condition of the body, it might have been a while. Those who saw the Tesla this summer and watched LAPD spend hours in this well-to-do Bird Streets neighborhood are rattled by everything that's happened here.
It's scary to think that this is happening. And this is a beautiful neighborhood. It's very nice, beautiful, expensive homes. And we would think that we'd be safer.
Interesting note, the home here behind me that detectives have been focused on the better part of today has 2 cameras above the garage as well as a ring camera. In fact, this entire neighborhood has pretty extensive security system, with many of the homes having several cameras. We do know from a couple neighbors I spoke with earlier that police were here last week asking to review or see some of the security camera footage. We don't know if they got anything, if it's helped the case. As to this point, LAPD has been extremely tight-lipped about this entire investigation. We're live tonight in Hollywood. Tim Caputo.
So this, apologies, because I hate the way they do this with all the background music, but this is giving a time because David and the girl were seen together, friends or something. So I'm gonna play this.
No, that was her boyfriend, and that has actually been established now. The mum said her boyfriend was called David. Her brother has come forward and is like that was her boyfriend. He was following her brother as well. That is out there. She was known to people on the Discord server as well, that she would correspond and talk with him. She had a Fenster Instagram account and had posted pictures of David on there and her together. And this is all when she was 13 years old.
How old is he?
So he's 20 now. He was 18, 19. It seems like when they first met. She was like 12, turning 13 at the beginning stages of the Discord. She's that young. And then when she actually ran away, it's like she was turning 14. So there's different dates. It's either that she ran away in April, got sent back, but ran away again in May or June. And this is the longest time she's been away. This is over the year. And they still haven't said when
Wait. That was them two together.
Yeah, so we don't know when she died. If she got to 15, because September the 7th would have been her 15th birthday.
That's not with him if you even. We need to delete it.
Maz, can we delete all VODs?
My classroom. Hold up. That's her in my classroom in front of this poster right here.
Hold on, is that the teacher like bragging?
No, he's not bragging. This is actually her teacher.
Yeah, I know, but it's like
he's not bragging. He's giving a class, telling this class about social media.
Okay.
Effects are.
Okay.
I just found out yesterday who it was, but she's been missing since I taught her. So when I taught her, she met this dude on social media. He was a rapper in LA. He came and got her. She ran away from home. She was gone for like a month. The cops found her in Hollywood, brought her back to our school. She came back to our school, kind of told people this story. She disappeared again in May of that year, May of 2024. That's when her friends told me what happened, that it was this rapper, that they were like blackmailing him, all of this stuff. And then I found out yesterday that she's now dead in that rapper's car, cut into pieces. You want to know how they met? I feel like I just said it. Social media. Let me tell you another story. Hold on.
The noises, the music on this is horrendous. So is he a rapper or is he a singer? Because and yeah, the racial connotations and what they always do as a rapper. That's not. I mean, this is the minor detail, but this is what happens. Anyway, it's a minor detail, but this is what happens. They then label everything a rapper. So there's alleged footage of of Celeste backstage with David's brother. Footage on. They got matching tattoos or something like that. Shush tattoos.
Now, this is the thing that has led to a lot of like speculation as to whether this is some type of a ring or has. Like it may not just be him that has killed his girlfriend, that maybe it's a part of some type of child trafficking, because also there are a few singers that have this same shush on their hands, and Rihanna being one of them as well. And so it's like, is that a branding? Is it a marker? Is it a part of some type of trafficking? Could there have been other people? Obviously, it's like his team would have known her age. She's running away. She'd already been by police. So he's being facilitated in this relationship in some way. However she died, that's one thing in itself as well. But that he was being seemingly supported by a team to have an underage girlfriend be around him, that's something else for the music business to look into, because this does sound crazy. It's like it's a car that is registered to you with a body in it. I don't understand how he was even still able to be performing.
How are you not locked up until they investigate? Well, how?
They're saying that he's
the girl was your girlfriend, underage, she's been missing, she's been found in your car, it is your car. Why are you not being arrested? Or I don't understand.
And they're saying that he's cooperating and he's not a suspect. I mean, okay, we're not legal people, so again, allegedly, I'm no expert, we're not experts, it's our opinion. As you laid it out, Farrah, is exactly how I'm thinking. Why weren't you arrested straight off the bat? First and foremost, for dealing with a minor. First and foremost, why are you not in trouble for dealing with a minor? And I think Yvonne's saying that he'd sold the car a while ago, so maybe this thing happened to her. But it's the fact that you're so closely
linked.
When
did he sell the car? Do you know what I mean? Like, she's been missing for a year or whatever it is. When did he sell the car? And how come she's in his car that he sold?
Exactly. And she was your girlfriend.
Right.
At some point. It's like, it's all, this
and
is the
didn't
thing.
You know she was missing?
There is that. I mean, the house, it's all of it. It just feels like, even if it wasn't at his hands, this feels highly suspicious as to what is going on within the circle, that this underage girl seemed to be a part of a network of people that were older than her and are famous. Like, it just feels so weird. And then his dark lyrics and videos. Come on now.
And yeah, romantic homicide. Okay, bro. What is happening? But who was it that said this? Stephen OX says, Chronicle Speaks on YouTube has a good deep dive into this horrible scenario. I just found one of the videos. We'll go quickly skim through it and see what they're saying.
R&B singer David has taken another dark and disturbing turn. Investigators are continuing to piece together the events after the shocking discovery of a missing 14-year-old girl found in his car. Police have confirmed that Celeste Rivas Hernandez, just 14 years old at the time of her unaliving, was identified by Los Angeles County medical examiners after her remains were discovered inside a Tesla abandoned in the Hollywood Hills. Her body, described as only a head and torso sealed in a bag, was found after the vehicle sat in a tow yard for days, giving off a foul odor. Authorities revealed Celeste had been reported missing since April of 2024. While she had run away before, her disappearance this time ended in unimaginable tragedy. Here's where things get more disturbing. Speculation around David intensified after an old social media post surfaced showing a chilling Discord chat hinting that he and a now deleted user were expecting a child. It has sparked a fresh wave of rumors and heightened public concern. 2 sets of screenshots have gone viral online. In one, David wrote, "I'll join the group chat with wifey and give y'all the story time. Me and deleted user got a kid on the way." Then a user says, "Are you happily married or single?" He says, "Me and deleted user got a kid on the way." Then deleted user, also known as Celeste, posts a picture of her ring finger, showing a ring on that finger that looks like an engagement ring, and then the name David tattooed on the inside of that finger. Then we see a picture of a man's hand wearing a bracelet and in a hugging position, and this is also posted from deleted user. And yes, this conversation happened in July of 2024. We don't know what happened to that kid, if she was indeed pregnant at the time. However, this was 3 months after she went missing the second time, and her family never saw her again.
I thought you said that you didn't want no kids, and then you lied in my face and say it is what it is.
Hold up. That's her in my classroom in front of this poster right here. Okay, hold up. I got another one because I got a picture on TMZ of this other kid exchanging stuff with the rapper who we alleged did this stuff. Hold on a second, because he's also in my classroom.
How long ago?
We all just found out yesterday who it was, but she's been missing since I taught her. So when I taught her, she met this dude on social media. He was a rapper in LA. He came and got her. She ran away from home. She was gone for like.
Okay, you're off screen.
Yeah, I just took that off because I don't know where she's gone. I think she might have something. But that's all wild. That if she was pregnant and that he engaged. She was 14. What are you doing with a 14-year-old? It's very scary.
It is really, and I understand why the teacher, because the teacher's getting lots of people talking about like he shouldn't have been speaking to the class about it. But if the lesson is about being safe online, I think you use something that is relevant that you're all probably talking about to be very weary of flipping singers, rappers, whoever sliding into your DMs. Like,
how's it going to resonate with you any more than you seeing something? Like, here's the evidence.
You know, she ran away and now she ended up in the flipping car boot. Like, it's actually crazy. I hope they uncover all of the different sides to this, what has taken place. But I feel like there's probably more to this than just like, oh, she was pregnant and he unalived her. And I feel like there's more to this whole thing.
Yeah, it's a tragedy.
No, it really is. It really is. I'll get a couple of comments. So Christian James says, I think he's rich and famous. They're moving strategically. Suspect has legal weight, and so they think they're trying to build a solid case. I think so as well. Rianne says, I haven't delved down the rabbit hole, but this sounds sacrificial. Something like that is what I'm thinking. This seems really, really weird. Will Smith says, romantic homicide. You couldn't make this up. A storyline for the next season of Law and Order SVU. Christian says she's literally a child, barely a teen. Barely. Exactly. Yvonne says, wealthy people always think bad things don't happen in their neighborhood. You never know what's going on behind closed doors. Definitely. Did you see there was a guy that they interviewed early on that was saying the car was around and it kept on getting moved, and he was noticing like the car would be in front of one house and am I back?
You're back, sort of, but your picture's not. I can hear your voice. It's all going wrong. There we go.
My internet keeps, I can see it as well, like just going up and down. Yes,
you're back.
This
now.
Was a weird one.
But the
Okay,
guy that
I'm
was
back,
talking about the car being moved was he the same one that was saying, "Oh, I just thought that they were visiting people"?
Yeah.
But this is what's weird. Like, if the rapper dude or singer dude David is saying that he sold the car, why is the car still in your area around all this time? It's almost as though that selling the car was an afterthought because you knew what you'd done or had been done.
Something is highly suspicious around this. I don't know, and it just feels like I always wonder about this because I would have thought he would have just been arrested, but you know, who knows? Maybe Christian is right. They're building a case, and then more details will come out. Jordan said, "I thought Trump had got to you, Nana." No, just the internet. Just the damn internet. Will Smith said the teacher sounds annoying. Just teach times tables, bro. He's giving them a lesson.
These kids don't want to know about just timetable.
He was given an absolute lesson on what is going on. This is really weird. I've been following that surprise witness. She's been talking about it. I think Tisa Tales has been going in about it as well. But I think, it's an interesting one. Let's see where this one goes. I don't know where AK is or what the next
message. I don't know what the next story is. Do we want to talk about the guy in Grenada, Mississippi, who was found hanged, and they've said that he killed himself? You're gone again. Back.
Oh, am I back? Am I back?
You're back.
Okay. All right.
Have you got the doc? Is there a doc?
I've got the doc. Okay. All right. Next story up on this was about the AI artist. Have you seen this?
Oh yeah, ridiculous.
What's her name? Xenia Monet. And I don't understand how you can have an AI that gets signed. But let's see. This is Kaylani has been talking about it, saying it's utterly ridiculous. I'll get her up on screen. So this is funny when you haven't done this for a little while. Bear with us. Have you guys actually seen this story as well? Because this is just such a wild. What I
did see was the girl talking, the AI girl.
I think that's on there as well.
Doing none of the work. I think you guys think that AI can just be the cover for something, which some people can use. They can make an AI cover. AI can also make the entire fucking song. It can sing the entire song. It can make the entire beat. You can have a song that's one type of song and say, AI, make this into a country song. And it'll literally rewrite, re-sing in a country voice and redo the entire thing. And they don't have to credit anyone. This is so beyond out of our control. And nothing and no one on earth will ever be able to justify AI to me, especially not fucking AI. There is an AI R&B artist who just signed a multi-million-dollar deal.
It's actually crazy because I didn't know that the AI thing had already gone into the charts as well and was like an absolute like entity in the game. Like, wild. Okay, I think I've got a video. Is this?
Yeah.
Where? Oh my gosh. Okay, let's see. This is so wild. This is
the one I think it is. It's strange.
Like the AI has a whole YouTube channel. So.
Okay. Oh my God, I've not seen that. I just thought it's like they're trying to make her a bit Victoria Monet and Coco Jones at the same time.
Yeah.
Like they've taken those two things and blended them.
Like she looks the same. Okay, I'll play it.
This is wild.
Just before the GPS and the passwords too, love was simple, just me and you. Take me back when love was real, when a woman stood firm on how she feel. a man and played his part. Built a home and protected her heart when the world didn't get a front row seat.
Okay. Let me just stop there with that. Whoa! I mean, for you people that like R&B, it sounded like somebody.
Sorry about that.
I don't know what we've stepped into. It sounded like about 10 different people that they've blended together. It's just not fair because, like Kalani said, like, you've got people out there doing some real work and grinding and putting their heart and soul into this music. And then, yeah, Folded is a tune, Will. And then you've got these AI bots just coming and someone sitting behind it and making dough. That could be a little fat white man for all we know. We don't know who's doing that shit.
So basically, the creator of the AI, they have got the deal in effect.
Exactly.
Got millions to use AI to make these songs, and you've marketed that's so crazy. Oh, this is weird. This is a strange time that we're in. But wow. I mean, how would that work? So any of us, in effect, could produce AI stuff and be artists and get deals, even with no talent. Is that bad?
Yes, Nana.
Like, genuinely, I have. Is it?
Yes, Nana.
I'm waiting. Why is
it bad? Why is it bad?
I can't. I have to contribute, but I can't. Give me 2 seconds, because what are you talking about, girl? 1 second.
It's truly, I'm asking a question. Is it bad? Because if I'm the artist, I'm using tools to make art and people like it. Why is it bad?
But because you're not writing any music yourself.
Right.
You're not singing any music yourself. You're not producing any music yourself. You're not doing any physical work yourself. You're just typing something onto a computer and it's coming out.
Yeah, but I am selecting what I put out there for the masses to enjoy. I may have to do some configurations. So I'm doing some prompting. I'm doing prompting work. And the tool, the AI, is making this person. I'm still working on the marketing. I still have to upload. And people like what I've produced through AI. Why is that bad? Why should I not get paid millions for that?
Well, there's nothing we can do to stop you. But I think in the grand scheme of things, when you've got artists who are doing all of the things that I just said, and they're not being paid, and or their music is being controlled by bigger organizations and they're not getting a fair deal, I think that's the problem. I want authenticity in my art. I don't want to just listen to a robot. Music is supposed to be about feelings and, you know, and it's supposed to be universal and all of this expression. It's not, I don't see how that's really an expression of someone's soul or a moment if it's just an algorithm. Not even, an algorithm.
What?
You're on mute.
I'm not. Why shouldn't
you were just doing that. You were just mouthing.
I don't know what's out. I think why do we need, we've got how many billions of humans on this earth? How many hundreds of people that want to be singers, actual human being singers? Why do we need, and why is 2 million, was it 20 million? Sorry, 20 million.
I think you got
free, whatever the number is, millions, to have a fake thing that sings. Why? I know you're putting it, why not you do it? You're the creative. There's the poet and your work. Why don't you do it? I'm navigating this because I know I have a friend who's got an AI version of their artist, but the artist is still an artist, and the artist is a fantastic singer, can perform, does everything. But to capture that world, they've got an avatar of her doing music. But you get the human being who is super old school in her training and development, can absolutely sing, can absolutely dance, is a triple threat, can act, everything. And then the add-on is her AI avatar that could go into that space and animation space, I guess, and all that type of stuff. So preparing for that. But the core of
she's doing the singing, right?
She's doing everything. She is a human being artist. So that's what I'm saying. Like, there's that version, because I'm just thinking about there are people like having an avatar of yourself doing stuff is a thing. But then to just say that I'm not going to be the artist, so I'm going to put into this fake thing. It stops being about the creative, and then it's like anyone can plug in and just do it. I don't know. I don't see why when we've got humans, why this needs to be a thing on top. Creative art. Maybe I'm being a Luddite. I don't want the evolution of creativity to now just be computer generated.
Same.
That's the part. It's like, why? We are human beings. That's still, why are we not? And yes, it can be programmed in, but it's still taking away the essence of our natural creative feeling that relates to human beings. We're pushing it all for a computer to do it for us. And who's to say that's a better? It's easy. Everything's convenience, and we know that this convenience. We know that the convenience is a problem. The over convenience is killing us as human beings. And yes, we can get to that point where everything's so easy, but then what does it do to the human form? What does it do to us in the end? That's the part that we don't actually have the answer to yet. It might be great, but I just don't know what, when we become redundant of that. And also I'll wrap up 360. We're always going to want to have the human person. I think it's not going to be a total domination.
I feel like that's okay. So if you want AI, I feel like it's for our freedom of choice, really, because there will be some people that will never want to listen to an AI produced anything, and then you're going to want human produced stuff. I don't know if I'm like, this is wrong. I'm not sure.
But what I feel like it's
the consumer. The consumer will decide what they want to consume. Now, if you're going to make it, you can make whatever. There are people that make shit t-shirts every day, but there's somebody that wants it. I just don't want it. So I'm more like, what's wrong with AI produced music? You may not want it, but there may be a consumer that does want it. So what's wrong with that then? That's where I'm at, I think. Until I hear an argument that takes me out of this thought process.
I think it's quite a slippery slope, and I don't mean to sound like I've got my tin hat on, but I do think it's quite a slippery slope. The more we let AI take over what should just be human, the scarier it's going to get. AI is only getting smarter; it's not getting dumber. So at some stage, why do we need a politician? And I'm not saying that all politicians are right, because listen to what we just said, but why do we need anyone talking on behalf of all humans? It could just be an AI generated thing that talks on behalf of all humans. Why do we need people to be educated? It could just be, you could just go online and listen to AI talk about stuff. I don't know. There needs to be, humanity needs interaction, doesn't it? That's what I do believe.
Yeah.
I just think, because we know that what happens is what's happening is like it overtakes, and as much as like it's all right, humans are going to make a choice, but there's going to be a point where we can't make a choice for the interim, for the immediate, for seeing. Once this takes off and it's become the thing, for a while it's not going to be a choice. It's going to be, this is what it is, and it's going to be that bit harder to find the authentic human version of stuff. So that's like, look, what we're talking about, the big tech bros and the broadcasters all merging together. So where we think that we have choice, but we don't. We don't have choice. It's not happening tomorrow, but it's been a slow walk into now our media's being controlled. And there's always the subculture, the undercurrent. But why does it always have to be we've got to search for it, and now we've got to dodge what's in the mainstream and go look behind, and then we've got to be why not just have normality? Why are we always being forced to then have to look and be a different group and a rebel group? Or why is that? Does that have to dominate? Why can't actually the AI artist be the subculture? Like, okay, but it's not. It's dominating because the big people with the big money are making it a thing. They're forcing it to be a thing. They want it to be a thing for whatever money they think they're going to generate. Don't have to do with human emotions. Don't have to do with this, that, and the other. Just create a robot and then you're done. And it's easier. There's less costs involved, and we make more profit. It's not, and that's the part as well. It's not for our real gain. It's because I found a way to make more money for myself. I found a way to, and then the fact that they're using all the tropes of an R&B singer, and it's a very generic poppy sound. It's not even great, but someone's going to like it. It sounds like a bunch of, like, as you look, I think when I came into the conversation, a lot of what you were saying, it sounds like a bunch of voices and songs that we've heard before rolled into these kind of pop, and that's not true. That's the part that's the problem with it, because it's not even truly generating that creative's voice. It's creating something that's a mesh of stuff that we've already heard before. And it's different with having a singer. We criticize singers that like you're just being modeled as the next Beyonce. You don't sound like, but you're just trying to be the next Beyonce. And that doesn't always work. When you're modeling an artist on someone that's exists, that's done it so well, it doesn't really work. You've got to have your own thing. That's why there are artists that stand the test of time, because they are so original, like the Michaels and the Princes and the Beyoncés and the Sierras, whatever. There's their version that works because they're original. Creating a robot version of something that we've already had potentially only lasts so long, and why? It's not. That's the part I think is wrong. It's actually wrong. Why are you telling us that we need it? Why do we need this? Why can't we use our own thing? I don't understand. And it's not for our gain. It's for, how do we benefit? And maybe that's the question to ask you, Nant. How do we benefit from an AI artist?
I don't see a benefit from it. That's what I'm really like. So in my mind, I'm thinking you have no passion towards this because you're not going to consume it. And so that's where I'm like, okay, so what's wrong with it then? Because I don't see where the detraction is. Everything you said to me proves it can sit where it sits because it is generic. There is no creativity. It's not going to take away from a legitimate artist because the consumer is a human being. So I want to know what the problem is, because I can't see it as a problem. I don't see where you're now not going to have a Beyonce develop eventually. I don't see how AI is going to take away from true human talent. That's what I'm not seeing. Where does it go? I see more robots and AI removing humans being involved in benign activity that I don't agree with anyway. So, but I may be wrong. This is the thing. I'm like, this is a discussion. That's all I see. Retail work, but there has to be another industry that is created. Yeah. But people being on telephones it's a waste of human life doing that. So I can understand why you would have a machine doing it. So I'm not against the developments of machine, but what are you then going to have humans do? Is that's more where I am, but I don't see it in the arts. I'm not sure. I can see voiceover work going, yeah, sure. There are definitely jobs that will be lost, but I don't know if true artistry would be lost to AI. I don't know.
We don't know, but I think
so that's when you think about the record companies and controlling artists already, and streaming platforms controlling how much profit artists can make out of their own material, I can see it affecting them, because it will get to the point where they're like, well, we don't need to go with you anyway. We'll just do AI and make money that way. Let's cut out the middleman. Let's have someone sat there on a machine pumping this shit out, and that's what people are consuming. And then that suddenly becomes the norm.
That's the part. It's just always a part where I think about the people that stand to make more money, and with like looking like you don't need a big team. You don't need to have all the A&Rs. You don't need to have all the things. And that's what they're talking about. Those are in the music industry saying that all the things that used to go into supporting and creating artists, and though we still had the problems and stuff, there was a lot more thought going into the creation of music. There isn't anymore. That's why we're getting so much generic pumped out shit, which is in quotes damaging, because we've got the generic popped out shit. We're not getting original artists that are standing out and speaking for something or representing something. So with this entry point, and you know, to be fair, and it is true, there's a thing where I'm not going to consume it, so I'm not necessarily bothered. But for the purpose of debate, the problem that I see is that it getting rid of everything that's human and real. At the same time, it might not take off. People might be like, this is absolutely shit. Why am I buying into this at all? But if they stand to make money, and you know that when you've got money and you can do super marketing and dominate, you can see the difference between something that gets marketed and something that doesn't. And when they want to brainwash us and flood something, they will. And they know who to tap into to make this a thing, and it becomes a thing. That's the part where we don't know how much it could dominate and take over. So we'll see. Time will tell.
Let me see what Han is saying. Theoretical ideas are fun until you face consequences. Capitalism is great in theory to some, but you contend with reality or destruction, ease and lack of thought for one another. Fair. All right, I'm gonna see. I saw you right again. Han says, what do you mean? Where does it go? Humans, artists cost money. They will cut them out. Why assume that cutting jobs means new jobs? There are similarly not moral. Okay, all right. And then asks the question, why don't people engage with things morally? That is why there are suffering. I'm interested in that thought, because I am like, okay, I'm just not seeing it in that way. I don't like the corporate machine that is the music business. So in some ways, I'm like, if you all get caught up in AI, artists will then become independent businesses again, which is what I think they should be. And consumers will buy direct from artists. That's kind of where I hope things go. I don't know. Maybe I'm being very woo-woo about this, but it feels like this could become mass-produced stuff that some people are going to consume. But I feel like humans will want to hear humans creating music because it touches us in a different way that a synthesized sound can't do. And we will get back to actually supporting artists properly and not relying on a machine. But that's the part my head is at.
But that's the part where that's the difference from saying I don't see anything wrong with it, it's okay, and the expansion on then what does it do for the human? That's the question.
It's the same shit. I don't see anything wrong with it because it covers a base. It consumes something.
No,
so
I'm
it's
saying
morally wrong to me. This isn't morally wrong.
Because it would be, I guess it's the other side of it where then it creates this is where do humans fit into this? I think that's my concern. Where do humans fit into this? I don't also think there's going to be a blanket takeover, and I do think humans will find a way to human in music and art, because it's just I think it's impossible to do away with it. It just depends. There's two things. What you said is absolutely that's the part where I'm like, that's where humans fit in. We go to the human source. We don't want that robot shit. That's for you, maybe kids that like don't know the difference, but us who but then we're going for the humans. There's always going to be that. Oh shit, I lost my point. But then also that's it. But if the conglomerates or whatever are trying to force us into this robotic world, AI world, where they want more money, what things will they put in place to make it even more difficult to then be a human artist making money or raging against the machine? Might not, but what would they do because you know what they do, they try and lock it down where you're not going to get freedom of speech, not got freedom to make music as a human. You have got to go through this system, otherwise you're not going to get the profits and the benefits, and it's going to be a struggling artist or the lure of, you know what, if you become an AI artist, you'll get millions, but if you're a human artist, you're not going to make it. You're going to be struggling, whatever, what's it called? Android artist or whatever the case is. I don't know what the powers would do to ensure that it's more difficult. And again, it's that creating that where everything's a subculture, and the main culture where you get the capitalist success is what's pushed and promoted. Those, I think, are the dangers of it. If they make it difficult for you actually to do human stuff, because that goes against what they're about.
I guess the barrier to entry would probably be in venues, payment systems. And so we'll have to do more things together in life. We'll have to connect that way. Convenience won't be something that everybody just thinks it is our right to have something instantly. You may have to travel to meet people. There'll be other things that we will do. I am truly interested in where it will go, but I just don't have a sense of it being all doom and gloom. I feel like the change may be the remedy to a lot of problems that are out there, and these guys can get caught up in their tech stuff, and humans will reconnect and understand that it was a moment in time that I could order a dress today and receive it tomorrow. That was a moment, and it wasn't good. And so we get back to actually supporting people that make things, and we get back to supporting artists, and you want to experience them, and it doesn't all have to be digital. I hope we get to that stage, and this may be good.
It depends on the rebellion, because they've worked to make us apathetic. They've worked to tell us that protesting and stuff is. They've criminalized protesting. They've criminalized dissent. They've criminalized going against the establishment. So I would like to think that too, and I think there are people like us, for example. We speak out. and we will seek things because we're not going to. But the art of convenience, the reality of convenience, is there. So if it's like, as I think someone said in the chat, venues are closing, and people will. And I've got a day-to-day, and if whatever the day-to-day is made harder because our resources are being squeezed and tightened and eroded, where all I've got, if they are creating this box for us to work in, these human robots to serve the robots, if that's the thing, and I don't have time actually because I can't even stop the wheel to go and to maybe Scotland because that's where the last human venue is, because all the ones in London are not available anymore, then that's the thing with, and that's my thing. I don't think it's doom and gloom, but I don't think everyone's all. We watch all the films, all the TV shows. The rebel crew is smaller than the majority that have been taken in, and that's the part where I'm just like,
the ship. Yeah.
Tailies, got the fronties at the fucking Snowpiercer. So it's like, yeah, sure, and maybe we'll always be part of the rebels, but that being part of the rebel isn't easy. It's not an easy course to take, and it's not the majority in usually. Should we get some comments, or should we move on? I wanted to finish at 2.
I get some comments. Okay.
Yes, please. Let's wrap it up.
So Stephen A says, I think we need to be paid for our content creating, be it photos and Facebook and others. FB gets paid ad revenue for each impression. We should get a share of that revenue. I wholly agree with you. Rianne says, if I was in the creative industry, I might resist. If I feel I am benefiting as a consumer, perhaps people may not be so outraged. SJ says, maybe have Gary Economic on. He's for taxing the rich. Love to chat with him. Let's see. Stephanie says, unemployment will be the downfall because of AI. That is true. Let's see. And Christian Jane says, I think the music industry will sooner implode or significantly shrink before it's realistically taken over by AI. Music is art, and art is always going to be controversial when you introduce AI. And Han says, the ability to rebel after we truly get to the pits of hell will be harder. MLK was wiretapped by FBI. We are surveilled in ways that you cannot fathom. The French Revolution would not run today. All I can say is let's see.
Let's see. I think let's see. We haven't experienced totalitarianism. What's the word? Totalitarianism, whatever. We haven't experienced it, but we are fast tracking into it. What it would look under a fascist dictatorship or whatever. So let's see what it really will happen, because we none of us can fathom it in the West. So it's a bit hard to understand it. But boy, all these little bits are leading to it. Okay, we'll wrap up. Have you guys watched the Charlie Sheen documentary? Because if you haven't,
I still haven't. Go on, talk about it.
Let me just share the trailer for those of you. I've watched it too. Okay, we'll get into what you thought of it. But this is a snapshot of the Charlie Sheen. So, I mean, I believe this trailer is the best thing about the documentary.
Oh yeah, okay. That told a lot in the trailer, and hearing people talk about it. But boy,
what do you think, Farrah? Because yeah.
Yeah, it's not the best documentary in the world, but I think what's interesting to me, and I've said this for many, many years, is how Charlie Sheen and people like Charlie Sheen are still given this kind of iconic status. And it's like, you're okay. Like, he's done all these fuckery things. He shot, I say this all the time, he shot his girlfriend, shot her with a gun. He's been done for domestic violence multiple times, but yet for all, there's a documentary about Charlie Sheen, and we're supposed to all feel like, oh, isn't he great? Oh, he just took a lot of drugs, and it's been, there's a point where he's talking about when him and Nicolas Cage were on a when he was on a plane. He was on a fucking plane, and he was drunk, and he managed to get into the cockpit of the plane, and because he was Charlie Sheen, the pilot let him fly the plane.
What?
And he's flying this plane, and there's like 300 people behind him, and he's drunk out of his mind, and they're letting him fly this plane. And even now, with him telling this story, it's like, oh, wasn't he a little bit wild? Yeah. Oh, that Charlie Sheen was a little bit wild. It's the excuses that they make for these white people in places of privilege that I take umbrage with. And this is why it pisses me off. And it's always pissed me off. Like, they want to talk about black people, black men that do violence. And I say that all the time, bring them to the front too. But let's talk about these lot. Why are these lot given this glory status? Those are the things that piss me off.
And he can still work as well. Like Charlie can still get work. He still gets
he can still get work. He's not vilified. He can still get access to certain countries. He's not banned from countries. All of this fucking shit.
On the back of this documentary, he's making a comeback. There's interviews now. He's on all the couches and he's now saying, I'm making a comeback. I'm back. Thank you, Farrah. I could kiss you because that's exactly how I felt. Because when I watched
sorry, can I just go to Will's comment? He says, I mean, to be fair, white people of Charlie Sheen and black people of Chris Brown. This is my point. And this is what I didn't actually use Chris Brown as a person to talk about. But this is my point. Even you saying Chris Brown. Now, the difference between Charlie Sheen and Chris Brown is Chris Brown was 19 years old when his incident happened. Okay. Charlie Sheen has never been held accountable for the shit that he's done. And he's done it continuously throughout his life. He is 60 years old now. He's fucking 60. And he's done it continuously.
When he shot the person, no time.
He shot. No, he did no time. He did no time. Do you know who it was? It was John Travolta's wife. So John Travolta, what's her name?
Kelly Preston. Was it Kelly Preston? Not Kelly Preston.
Kelly Preston. So Kelly Preston used to go out with Charlie Sheen. Right? They were engaged, in fact. Kelly Preston and Charlie Sheen. He shot her during one of his fucking event episodes or whatever it is that you want to call. He shot her. Yeah. He's also been done for domestic violence against Denise, his ex-wives, and the other ex-wife that he's had. He's a notorious fucking woman beater. A notorious woman beater. But yet for all,
and he's never done any time. He's not gone.
He's never done no time. He's never gone to jail for any of this. People talk about it like it's fun, like it's okay.
Yeah, basically the whole document, that's exactly how I felt. I mean, look, there are loads of men in the industry. Chris Brown is one of them. But it's semantics. It's a whataboutery. But we're talking about Charlie Sheen. There's no need to throw Chris Brown into this conversation. We're talking about Charlie Sheen, and we're talking about the power of white men that get away. Because Chris Brown, for what it's worth, whether you like him or not, he has been held accountable. Like whether he himself personally holds himself accountable.
He does hold himself, but that's a tough bit too. He does hold himself accountable.
I was wondering about the criminalization. That's why I was wondering why Chris Brown was even mentioned, because
that's what I'm saying.
He has been criminalized. But if Charlie Sheen has never been criminalized,
never been criminalized.
That's
he's
what
never
I'm
been criminalized. But it's not only about being criminalized. He's never been criminalized, and he's never been vilified in the world. It's almost as though we're supposed to support this fucking white man who does all these things. Because it's Charlie Sheen, good old Charlie Sheen, but he makes good films, doesn't he? Oh, he's funny, isn't he? Oh, he's just on a he's on a rant now. When he was during the documentary, you learn that he was taking testosterone, as well as he was taking testosterone, as well as like doing. So he'd go from one mad drug to another mad drug, to smoking all the crack in the world that the world had to offer him. He said he was, drinking all it, doing everything, and he talks about doing these things with people that have died. Even when it was like the prostitution racket with that woman, I forget her name now.
Flies.
Say again?
Heidi Fleiss.
That's it. Even with the Heidi Fleiss thing, Heidi Fleiss did time. He did no time. Because he came out and he ratted on her. And she's like, he did no time.
Is that the woman that said he's a pussy?
Because the one that said he's a pussy.
It's a big scandal.
Throughout this whole thing, and this is not, as you said, Aquay, this is not about Chris Brown, because there are other black men as well. Let's talk about Dr. fucking Dre. People want to talk about Dr. Dre like he's an icon as well. But my thing is, this is about why these white men get away with doing these things, and we're supposed to act like it's okay. It's not okay. It's not okay. And that's what the documentary left me feeling. Very frustrated.
Yeah, basically.
Wow. That is a lot. So all I was seeing was people talking about he's possibly bisexual. That seemed to be the fallout from this documentary.
Because he's HIV positive. So, but that's, I think he did turn to shoot up heroin and stuff like that.
But not only that, when he talks about one of the effects of sometimes when you snort too much coke or you do too much drugs or whatever, it can either give you no sex drive or it can increase your sex drive in a crazy type of way. And with him, what it did was it gave him a massive sexual increase, and he basically went out and did everything that he could have possibly done. He says it.
Yeah. So yeah.
So that was the overarching that I was seeing in clips, was people talking about him sleeping with men, which I feel like came out after the you know,
so
there was a time when I think maybe he was on Oprah or something, and it came out that he was just sleeping with loads of people. He was maybe it was Jimmy Kimmel or Jimmy Fallon, and he had lots of girlfriends, and the girlfriends were coming out and saying there's just lots of sex that was going on after that show. So when he was doing that show, when he was the number one in
2.5 Men,
yeah, was he on a whole load of shit then as well?
He was on, but when he started it, he had. Sorry, go ahead. Go on.
I was just saying, well, he was coming to show. He's coming to show basically high. As he got into his runs of being on drugs and stuff like that, he was coming to show high, and that's when they kind of terminated him and said like you've got to go, or they had to make a decision. Like no, actually, first of all, they were sorry, my bad. They were having that discussion that he's coming to set so fucked up that he's fucking up the show. So they were like you have to go, but then they made a negotiation deal because it's Charlie Sheen. That's when he got the big boy bucks, became the highest paid actor to keep him back again because of money and profits. They were like, if we lose Charlie Sheen,
he was rewarded
for
his bad behavior.
Instead of him being let go, they employed him. And that's the whole thing for the whole documentary for me, was like this documentary is made like a film. It's got funny moments. It's got inserts of his childhood, all this type of stuff. And it's celebrating and rewarding, as you said, rewarding him for being literally just a shit. And yes, you can have problems, you can have demons and all that type of stuff, but you can't consistently get rewarded. He says it himself. I've been rewarded, and that's why I didn't come off the drugs. That's why I didn't stop, because it seems like every time I had a huge episode, my dad would save me, my people around me would save me, and then I get a great job. That's what kind of like the universe kept giving him opportunities, especially on the back of a crash out. On the back of a super crash out, he'd get a good deal, he'd get an offer, and it somehow worked out.
Even when he was crashing out and he lost 2.5 Men when they finally sacked him because of the comments that he made against the producer of the show, even off the back of that, he started to get a lot of publicity, and that's when he started to go on his tours and do all of these kind of one-man shows. Even then, he's just constantly. He's the epitome of someone who's been celebrated. Right now, people should be talking about what plane was he on when he was flying that plane and he was drunk. And that's what people should be talking about, because I'd want to know.
That is crazy.
A fucking plane with 300, 400 people. And even he's saying it a bit like, oh yeah, there was just one point I was doing it and I could see, and the pilot could see, and the co-pilot could see that any minute now it might just get a little bit left. It's like,
it's very casually.
Being celebrated.
I thought it was not. I didn't think it was a great. My friend of mine said it was a great documentary, and I think Will Smith earlier said we're not demographic for Charlie Sheen. And I get that, like he's got his super fan, because my friend was like, yeah, but Charlie Sheen's Hollywood royalty, and he is of the old age where those bad boys of Hollywood would get away with anything and everything, and the PR and the publicists would do their best to keep it out of the public eye, and then you're presented with this rock star god, and that kind of rock star genius bad boy thing is the image. When we had the Brat Pack, where that was a thing, River Phoenix was part of it, died of an overdose. All these people that are celebrated or allowed, and even when they're crashing out in public, it's like, well, that's a bad boy, that's a rock and roll behavior. That's what they did. Kurt Cobain, all the people, like, you do the kind of rock star bad boy behavior, and it's okay, we'll clean it up, and that's the life that you need to aspire to. And that's what this documentary is. It's not a very great documentary. I'm sure it's going to get fucking recognition in awards season. I don't think it's a good documentary. What it does highlight is the privilege of white men, rich white men.
Exactly.
That's
exactly what I got out of it.
But watch it and judge for yourself.
Wow.
No. He was flying the plane. There was a point when it was on autopilot. Hold on, wait a minute. There's a point when it was on autopilot and they switched it off, and he was flying the plane. And then the pilot switched it on again when he could see that he was doing a little bit too much. So he was flying the plane at one point.
Yeah, for a second.
The question is it watchable? Do any of us need to watch this?
No, I don't think support it, because he doesn't need the numbers. And as we're, like I said, the trailer makes it sensational. And it's like, oh my God, this is amazing. And some of the things, but even the revelations, even when he's like, am I going to get all the like real truth? And he's like, yes, it's going to be, all the revelations, like, I've heard this 1,000 times before. This is not new. You took drugs. You went into Hollywood. You took drugs. You came from a really good home. Your dad was, his dad, Martin Sheen, had alcohol abuse problems as well, but then he kind of came out of it. And you probably got daddy issues, competitive issues with your brother, Emilio Estevez, all these things, insecurities. And that's what he basically says. Like, it's like I didn't deserve it. I didn't feel like I deserved it. So I crashed out every minute. It's a typical story, but it wasn't even told in a compelling way to make me even feel. I wanted to empathize, and I watched it to the end because I was like, I'm waiting to see this big revelation that comes out of this that makes me understand Charlie Sheen and makes me feel, oh my God, okay, this is what you've been through, and I empathize. At the end of it, I was like, fucking hell, this is a waste of my time. This is nothing, and this is getting white privilege. And the only thing I found most interesting about it was the fact that because he was childhood friends with Sean Penn, George Clooney, Jennifer Grey, and they got like old school original video footage, like they used to make films. And I thought that was the most interesting, compelling thing for creatives that you from young you were making films and you went into the film industry. As a creative and a filmmaker, I love that narrative. That was it. And even that, you whatever. Anyway,
what were you gonna say?
I can't remember.
That was supposed to be nonsense. Well, it was nonsense. It is nonsense. Watch it if you like.
Yeah, Jordan's right. They're all Nepo babies, for real, for real.
And Will Smith,
all right, Will Smith has a recommendation. There's a much better documentary called Seen and Heard, produced by Issa Rae. I think it's on Disney Plus. You'd get more from watching that documentary.
Yeah, that's about the black
Okay, cool.
accent industry. I want to see that as well. I haven't watched it.
I'll have a look for that one. I love a good doc.
This was a highlight of nonsense. This wasn't a recommendation. It's a highlight of nonsense. Don't get taken in. That's
okay.
All right, guys. That has been your Sunday news and nonsense. Thank you very much. Hold on. Rianne was the only person that contributed to Sunday coffers. Are you okay?
Come on, guys. I didn't even notice that. We just got one.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you so much anyway, Rianne. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
It's near the end of the month. People have got no money.
Yes. Okay, fair enough.
Okay, guys, we'll give you this week, but next week that is generally pay week. Payday Friday is coming, so Sunday, you guys, come on, you need to contribute so that we are here for you every week as we are, and we need the community. You guys were talking about community, or do you want us to be AI? Because you know me, I could probably make that happen.
When you was talking about it, Nana, I thought it would be AI out here. Like I was going to say to you, imagine that shit.
Exactly. All right, guys. Thank you. Enjoy your Sundays. Eat good food. Get some rest, and prepare for the week ahead. Protect your neck, as Wu-Tang says. Take care.
Bye, guys.
Bye.